What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Booze Biz. I'm actually already one beer deep because we did something cool this week. I decided to start 30 minutes early, but do it just for the Jumpstart folks. So just for the Jumpstart students. If you don't know what Jumpstart is, basically, EventHawk started a how to get to $100,000 course called Jumpstart. They recruited me to come in there and help out. And we've been having a lot of fun. So what I did was I invited all the Jumpstart folks on 30 minutes early. We did pregame for Booze and Biz. So we were pre-gaming. I pre-gamed with some beer and I pre-gamed with a margarita that I accidentally made with vodka. It wasn't bad. And then we covered some stuff with the Jumpstart folks. So we've been rocking and rolling for over 30 minutes already. But tonight we're going to do, should I quit my job? Should I quit my job? So I'm very, very, very excited for tonight. I'm going to be drinking mostly beer. I have found out that I have a much better Thursday when I stick to the watery beer. So I've got some Bud Light and I've got some Michelob Ultras, but I also have some vodka on deck that I'm going to mix with Sprite. I'm going to mix with Sprite, not with margarita mix. Tonight, show sponsors tonight, kind of not really. I've got two things I want to throw at you. So first one is my near and dear friends, Alex and Beth. They started a sticker company, or I guess you could call it a vinyl printing company because they do a hell of a lot more stuff than stickers. It's called slapco.com, slapco.com. If you need stickers or any other sort of magnets, vinyl banners, that kind of thing, go there, use promo code JUMPOFF, all one word, and you get 25% off. Okay. They just launched this business. This is their second business. They're legit business people. They're legit business people. I believe in them the most. Okay. They don't pay me anything. I don't make anything if you use promo code JUMPOFF, right? I just want to support them so much. So go there, make some freaking stickers and help my friends out. They're amazing. And then the other thing is also kind of not a sponsor. For those of you, I've kind of started putting this out a little bit more in my content, but like my true passion is business. Like it's just, I don't know, I'm obsessed with it. Like it's the game I love to play. But then the only thing that kind of tops that I love a little bit more is teaching, probably most specifically business. Like I feel like I can teach somebody business and I can just talk until their pencil runs out of lead. Like it's just what I love to do. Okay. So for those of you that are a good in-person learner, low-key announcing, we kind of already announced it, but announcing the launch of Event Rental University. This is going to be super rad. So this is going to be a 3-day event, and you can attend either 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days, right? You can pick of what you want to do. Day 1 and day 2 are going to be Justin from Party Rental Knowledge and myself teaching the bounce house hustle. Okay. The course is going to be, it's going to have very wide breadth of content, but it'll be very tailored to the room. And what I mean by that is, we got a room full of people that never started a business before. We'll cover EIN. We'll cover naming your business. We'll cover building your logo. If we got a room full of people that have started a business before, we'll skip a lot of that stuff and we'll get into the nitty gritty, right? It will be tailored to you, but it's going to be a blast. Okay. So it's going to be April 25th, 26th, 27th in Buffalo, New York. If you're interested, you can go buy tickets on the jumpoffstore.com. So you can go to my online store, the jumpoffstore.com, and you'll see tickets in there. All right. $500 per day. Or if you buy all 3 days, you get a little bit of a discount. It's only $1,300. If you want to bring your spouse, if you're brand new, or if you have a business partner, only an extra $100. Okay. Those extra $100 tickets are also on the store. So just put both of them in your cart and you go check out. I'm going to say this. I'm going to try and say this in a good way. Justin and I know a lot of people in the industry. So we're going to go out of our way, right, to not only educate and bring the knowledge and the content, but we're also going to go out of our way to try and make this thing as hooked up as possible, as much swag as possible. And just, dude, I just want to make it, a lot of learning and a lot of party, right? Not necessarily like heavy drinking, but maybe heavy drinking. I'm not sure. But like, I just want it to be a good time, dude. And between Justin and myself, we're going to make sure that freaking happens. So this will be a marquee event. Don't miss it. We're going to talk about it later in the show. But if you guys want to check it out, we got, let me drop the freaking No, I don't have the links ready. I'm not a good host. I'm so not a good host. I'll have the links for you in just a second when I finish my monologue. And you guys can go check out the tickets on the jumpoffstore.com. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Now that we got that all out of the way, I want to get into tonight's show, which is should I quit my job? Before I do that, I have a small ask from you guys on podcast and you guys on YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button. My passion is teaching. I need more people to teach. You subscribing gets me more people. So please, 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 just 2 seconds, hit the subscribe button. All right. The other little teeny tiny ask I'm going to have is that I actually want to know after last week what our results were. So last week we talked about some dorky techie stuff, which was websites and web design, right? I tried to keep it very actionable because I know web design can be kind of a big, hairy subject, but I would like to I'd like to have you guys just do me a quick favor. And if you made any changes to your website after the show last week, put my favorite emoji, the pirate flag. Give me the pirate flag emoji in the chat, both on Facebook and on Zoom. I would love to see some pirate emojis. I just want to do a little market research and see what kind of impact the show is having on people. Obviously, maybe not obviously, maybe that's audacious to say. I pour my heart out into show prep and research to try and get stuff that you guys want to talk about. And I try to do my absolute damnedest to bring the best show possible. So I want to know if it's having an impact. So did you make a new call to action button? Did you get an email address with your domain name? Did you put your city and where you're located and what you do above the fold? Did you go the extra mile and add the Google review widget? Like, what did you do to your website? If you guys want to drop the pirate flag, that'd be dope. And then, oh, maybe there's not a pirate flag on Zoom. People are just typing in pirate flag. So if there's no pirate flag on Zoom, just type the word pirate flag. But you can also tell me what you did to your website. Tell me what you did to your website. Whatever changes you made, I'd love to know. All right. Here we go. On to the show tonight. When should I quit my job? So your business now has some traction, right? That's why you're here. You're trying to learn, okay? It appears you're going to have some success and you're wondering when the hell you should take the jump, okay? The short answer to that question is you should quit your job, okay? The second you ponder it is the second you should plan, okay? There's this moment when your thinking will shift from I need this job, I need this insurance, I need this pension, I need this 401k, whatever. And then just one day something will happen to you and all of a sudden the thinking will start to change to I feel like this job is holding me back, okay? In that moment, that's your matrix red pill moment, okay? You've taken the red pill. Once you've had that thought, you can't unthink it. There's nowhere to go but the other direction, okay? That question is going to live in your brain forever until you either, one, quit your job and go full-time entrepreneurship, right? Jump on in, build the airplane after you jumped off the cliff, or two, you tell your boss you want to quit and become a full-time entrepreneur, and then they triple your salary, right? Number two is exceedingly rare. I have heard of it happening, okay? But it's pretty rare. So, all right, so we're going to do another little bit of a story time with Nick here. So I'm going to tell my story a little bit to kind of give you guys some context of how I did this. And then we'll open it up a little bit and hopefully have a much broader conversation and add some value to everybody that's listening. Okay. So for me, at this point in time, I'm going to set the stage. It's summer 2017. Okay. I have no bounce houses at this time. I had no bounce houses until 2019. Okay. So summer 2017, I'm lost and I'm very, 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 very unhappy at my job. Okay. Yet deep inside me, I have this weird feeling where I can do some hugely impactful things. I just don't know what they are or how to do them. I just have this weird feeling. I actually remember having conversations with my best friend about it. So at this time, I'd actually started my blog. Okay. So back then it was called originleadership.com. And I did that because I'm a natural writer. I can just sit down at a keyboard and just write. And it's just a natural thing I can do. Okay. So, because I wanted to figure out how to make money on the internet. And so it was just obvious, let me just write. Okay. So that summer, I was also enrolled in a course called the Landmark Forum. If you don't know what the Landmark Forum is, Google it, and then only click on links written by me. I'll tell you the truth of what it is, okay? But it's a 4-day course over a weekend, and we had to go to Houston. My wife and I had to travel to Houston to go do it, right? And my parents paid our tuition to go. It's very cheap. It's only $600 a person. So while I was on my way to this, right, we flew there, I stumbled across a book. I think it was an ad. I don't even remember how I found this book. I really don't. But it was The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. If you're an entrepreneur or a wannabe entrepreneur, it's an old book now. I think it's 12 years old. So some of the tactical advice in there is a little outdated, but it's a must read. And you probably should read it 3 times. Okay. So anyways, I bought that book and started reading it while we were at this intense landmark forum. All right. And I'm at this life-changing seminar, and I accidentally bought this life-changing book, but then they happened at the same time. But in my opinion, I don't think either of them would have had the correct impact had they not happened at the same time, which they did, which is like kind of wild and crazy. Okay. So anyways, my wheels have now been set into motion, right? I was kind of starting to have my red pill moment. Went through the course, the landmark forum, started reading 4-Hour Work Week, and was very unhappy at my job and had started my blog, right? A lot of things that are moving towards entrepreneurship. Okay. So let's fast forward a year. Okay. I actually was back to enjoying my job. I had a new boss who I absolutely loved. So shout out to Brooks. I absolutely loved working with Brooks. We had a lot of fun. We worked very, 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 very hard, but we did some amazing things together. But like I said earlier, it kind of didn't matter. Like once you have those entrepreneurial thoughts and you've gone down that path, it's kind of the beginning of the end. So at my job at the time, like over the course of a couple of years, I had developed a scheduling system that I would put together for my store managers to use to make their schedules, quote unquote, perfect based on the traffic coming in and out of the store. And I was having some insane success with it in my district, right? My district at that time was a lot of stores. It was 25 stores. But I was having some insane success with my little system I made, right? So I was actually trying to get the company to adopt it in all stores. I wanted it to be a company-wide process, okay? I wanted to change the course of the company. Like, remember that thing I just said where I had that weird feeling inside, like I could do something super impactful and important and change the world? Like, that's what I thought it was, right? The only problem was I was having a hard time getting anyone to even listen to me, right? Which was extraordinarily frustrating. Okay, so that system is in place and been in place for like a year and a half or 2. All of a sudden, I've got the VP traveling with me. Okay, my boss is in shotgun, the VP's in the back seat. We're on our way to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And I saw my opportunity to make my big pitch with my scheduling system. The reply that I got back from the VP was, quote, "Nick, our scheduling problems are not going to be solved by some district manager making spreadsheets on the weekend." And then he went back to checking his emails, right? I saw this all take place in the rearview mirror of my car. I remember the whole entire thing vividly, right? I was crushed. I was furious. Like I was frustrated. Like there were so many emotions. At that point in time was a major turning point for me. I actually felt like the storied Houston Astros scout that told the Houston Astros that worked for the Houston Astros and told them they have to draft Derek Jeter. And then when they didn't, he just quit, because if they won't listen to him on Derek Jeter, he may as well just quit. Like that's how I felt. So I decided, however, stubborn me, I decided, fuck you then. Fuck you guys. I'm going to do what I set out to do with my blog. Like the only way you make money blogging is you make an online course. I'm going to build an online course with my scheduling system, along with the teaching that makes it all work. And I believe in it wholeheartedly. Okay. I was working 60 hours a week at this time, a very intense, mentally intense job. And 60 hours a week was like a regular week. Right. And I know people say that shit all the time, but I mean it. I mean, I would come home on Friday ready to drink some beers and I'd be asleep on the couch by 7:30. So anyways, I'm doing all of that work. And then on the side, I'm like, this is my way out. Right. So I build this course. I build this online course. If anybody's ever built an online course, you know, it's in a very intensive process. Okay. So I did that all the time while being a dad to a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old and a husband, and right, going to birthday parties, the whole 9. So anyways, I build this course. I launch it on a Saturday. Sunday morning, I have an angry email from the VP in my inbox telling me to take it down immediately. Okay, so it turns out I'd overstepped the line bad. I didn't know how bad at this point. It ended up I almost got fired. But in that like almost fired conversation, it became very clear to me that I just wasn't valued at this company the way I should be. I just wasn't valued, and being dragged through like what I did was technically very serious. However, the reason I did it, which doesn't matter when you work at a big corporation, by the way, the reason I did it was rooted in morals and drive and passion and poor let me say differently, poor leadership, poor fucking leadership. That's the reason I did what I did, because they were shitty leaders. That's why. Okay. So I almost get fired, and I decide instead I'm going to quit. My direct words out of my mouth were, I'm just going to go then. Right. I got like this ultimatum, and I just was quiet. I said, I'm just going to go then. So that night I worked till 7 p.m., which I had left the house at like 4:30 in the morning. I was out of town, so I went to the hotel and I drank a whole bunch of wild turkey on the phone with my best friend. I woke up the next day a free man, right? I just quit my job. Okay. The phone started to ring, and it was very apparent that I was actually not quitting my job. I had heads of other departments recruiting me to come to their department. I'm not quitting and right? So I ended up staying another year. All right. But okay, the reason I tell you that whole entire story is because in that whole situation, that whole fucked up situation that I caused by releasing my scheduling online course, I had then quit and tasted freedom. I had to, like, you could count it in hours how long I was a free man, right? But I had a small sliver of the life that I wanted. I just wanted to quit and go write and find inspiration for writing and launch courses and do all sorts of cool stuff, right? So I had now taken the red pill for real, right? So I worked hard on the side to build up this blog because the intention was to pivot into a consulting agency. But it kind of, between a conversation between Michelle and I, my wife Michelle and I, it became obvious that there's no way in hell that I could build anything on the side, because this job took too much out of me, both physically and mentally, to have any bandwidth to get a company off the ground. Both because it's hard to get a company off the ground, and then also because I didn't know how to do it. So like I had to like learn it and do it, and I just right. So we had a very memorable conversation sitting at the dinner table in the evening, 7:30ish at night. The kids are like sitting there eating, and we have this conversation. And I remember Michelle said, "So that's it? So you're quitting tomorrow?" Basically, the gist of it was, I had my most recent bonus from that March. Okay, so this conversation was taking place in August. So that March, I had a $32,000 bonus, and all of it was still in the bank, right? I had been honing my skills of selling things on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. And then I had one bounce house and one slip and slide, right? Which was no money at all. But so then I took the jump. The next day I put in my notice, and I quit my job with nothing to go to, right? When I quit, I did not get offered to triple my salary. I did not get that offer. I did get an amazing offer, though. And I was very humbled, but I said no. It was over. It was over. I was out. I was off to start my consulting agency, right? So, of course, the consulting agency did not come to fruition. I did work on it for a while, like a matter of weeks, like 2 to 4 weeks or something, and then fell out of love with it. So I started driving Uber and sold garbage from the side of the road, and then rented the occasional slip and slide until it got cool, and then rented the occasional bounce house. Okay. So, but the reason I tell you that story, okay, is to make this point right here. I get asked very often, Nick, how the hell did you have the courage or the idiocy to quit your 6-figure job, having a mortgage and 2 kids and a car payment, and Brody was 1 year old, right? And then you have all the other stresses of life with literally nothing to, and then this is the term that I hate the most, fall back on, with nothing to fall back on. For me, the answer is just super simple. It's just super simple. It's clean. It's easy. It's nice. It's neat. It's tidy. I couldn't not quit. I couldn't do this for one more day. I had held my breath for as long as I could, trying to build my consulting agency on the side while still working a job, and it just wasn't possible. I had to leave and go to $0 to be able to build the life that I wanted. Okay. In this decision at this time, there was no logic. Okay. It was pure emotion. Okay. And that's something I'm proud to say because I knew that decision was right. I knew I was going to be wildly successful going it alone. Okay. So I quit my job with nothing to fall back on because I believed in myself. Okay. I don't know if anybody ever got on the old, I don't know if it might still be around. It's not that old, actually. Social media app called Clubhouse. You get on there and like have a conference call with strangers, basically, right? So back in the earlier days of the jump off, when I used to clean units myself, I would just put in my AirPods and get on Clubhouse and speak publicly and kind of like practice. And there was one, I do not remember anything that was said in this entire conversation, but at the end, the host went around the room and asked everybody what they got out of it. And the thing that I took out of that whole conversation was that fear is fake. Fear is fake because what we live in is a fake world, right? We're afraid of things because they might eat us, right? Because we have like Neanderthal brains, right? A lion might eat us. Well, we don't have that. Fear is fake. So you're ready to quit your job, but you're scared. Scared of what? Failing? I keep asking this question. I keep getting the same answer. I'm afraid to fail, fear of failure. I don't understand it. But that's because I view failing as the greatest achievement that you could possibly wish for, because now you know what doesn't work and that's not the way to do it. And then you can go do a new way, right? Failure is going to squash your doubts. Failure is going to squash your regrets. You're going to sit around wondering if you would have done it, if you would have been successful. If you fail, you know you sucked at it and you weren't successful and you can go back to doing what you were doing, right? Now that you've had the audacity to try, it's very easy to get the audacity to try again. Besides, all of that being said, during this point in time, I was going on job interviews, right? Because I did go to zero and that shit's scary. So you go on fucking job interviews, right? Also, Michelle wanted me to go on job interviews. I went on 7 job interviews and got 6 job offers, some pretty freaking fancy ones. I told them all no. The last one is the one that I didn't get a job offer on, which is some serendipity that if you go watch my new YouTube video, you can get that story. Okay. But I turned them all down, right? The reason I personally wanted to go on the job interviews is because I wanted proof that, quote unquote, tomorrow I could go get a job if I changed my mind or if I failed. And I proved that not only could I do that, I could do that very quickly and very well. Like I could just have a good job tomorrow if I needed one. Okay. So in the end, whether or not you quit your job comes down to the crossroads of logic and emotion. Okay. Both are highly important. And one can be used to solve for the inadequacies in the other one, right? It makes no logical sense to keep working because your business is so successful. So just go and quit, okay? If it makes no emotional sense to keep working because you're so goddamn miserable and caught up in the feeling that you're going to change the world as an entrepreneur, but you can't because you're still at a job, then you just go. My dream was to have a podcast that people listen to. I also wanted to have a YouTube channel where I could teach people things about business. And then I had pondered a live show where I could answer people's business and motivational questions. Now, never in a million years would I think that the basis of that foundation would be built on an orange 15 by 15 dinosaur bounce house. But here we are. Your fear is fake too. You're going to do great and you're going to win big, or you're going to fall flat on your face. You're going to hate it and you're going to go get a better job than the one you left. But if you want to do it, by God, go do it. I promise you that your mom is sick of hearing you talk about it any longer. If you don't want to quit your job, if that's just not even on your radar, you're happy as a clam at your job and your business is doing great and you don't want to quit your job, then cheers. Thanks for coming by and hanging out. I appreciate your company. Okay, so that was very motivational. I do want to get into some tactical stuff that you guys can ask and just go crazy on questions about, okay? Like if you quit your job What do taxes look like? If you quit your job, how do you get insurance? If you quit your job, how do you pay yourself? How do you manage the money? You guys have all the questions. You guys already know all the questions, right? So you guys can unmute. You guys can drop your questions in the chat, and let's get you the knowledge to do it. And then if you need to borrow some of my courage, you're more than welcome to take as much as you need. And then the last thing I want to say on this is if you need the air cover with your significant other to quit your job and go do something fucking crazy, check. Got it. Blame it on me. Okay. I got broad shoulders. I can promise you that I can handle the blame. All right. If they want to DM me, send me that friend request, get them in my DMs. Let's go. All right. They want to hate me. Good. Make them hate me. That buys you time to go to work and do the hard stuff. Okay. So I want you, I gotta unplug the mic. I want you guys to unmute your mics and we can talk about all these crazy things. While you guys are doing that, I'll tell you what it's like, what life is like being a successful entrepreneur. Okay. So I wake up whenever the hell I want to wake up. When I wake up, I do whatever the hell I want to do. How many cups of coffee do I drink? As many as I want to drink. What time do I leave the house? Whenever I want to leave the house. I get to do whatever I want. Now, I have a very regimented way I do all of those things. It's something that is important to me to make sure that I keep myself disciplined and on the right track. But you get to do whatever you want. You get to do whatever you want. It's fantastic. It is fantastic. I wear flip-flops every day. I put on sleeves for you guys, right? I got sleeves on for you guys. I wear a tank top every day. It's already hot in Louisiana. I wear a tank top every day and Lululemon running shorts and flip-flops. That's what I do. And I go to an office and I play around on the internet.
Did you just say you wear Lululemon?
I do. My wife bought me a pair and I'm hooked. That's all I have. It's literally all I have.
Aren't those girls designer stuff?
Ooh, they got guys.
I don't think you should ever say that again.
I've actually heard the guy stuff's very comfortable.
My girl got the other day, and they're the best. They're so
fantastic. Like you buy one, and I'm like,
my gosh!
I'm like, how
everybody
much
send me your man.
They got Fat Man Lululemon.
They don't. Forget it, bro. Forget it. We're out of it. We're out of it.
I wear a size S. I wear a size S. So. All right. So what do you guys got? Let's go. Questions. What you guys?
I quit my job like early into this industry. Year one, I quit. I love this industry. My boss told me I didn't know what I was talking about. I was working for a different party rental company, and I decided to come back and start my own company. And then the rest is history.
Nick, did you cry when you quit?
No, bro. I fucking jumped for joy. It was the happiest goddamn day of my life. Like. You can't even imagine. Like, imagine getting out of a 16-year abusive relationship that was highly abusive. That's what it was. Now, there was some good years and some bad years, but it was I'm speechless. I can't even put it into words.
Right.
So nobody wants to know about insurance. I even tried to T-ball this one. You guys would ask questions.
I guess I'll ask that question. I asked it in the other group, or in the Facebook group. I got a quote from X Insurance, and for regular 1 million, 2 million liability, they're wanting $12,000 for the year. I mean, is that on par with the industry? Because I know some people said
what'd you say you're gonna make?
37. What's up?
What'd you say your income was gonna be?
No, I'm brand new. I just started.
Yeah, what did you tell them you were going to make this year?
Didn't even ask that question.
Who'd you go through?
That doesn't matter.
I talked to X Insurance this morning.
Yeah, no, that's not. You should be, and every state's going to be different. But Phoenix is not like a red flag state. I'm in a red flag state. Louisiana is like on the high end.
Yeah. Call Tony.
Yeah.
Wait. Are we talking about insurance, like health insurance, or
no? He's talking liability. You should be in the ballpark between $3,500 and $5,000 per year.
Okay.
So go get more quotes.
Your question was geared towards health insurance. My bad.
No, you're good. No worries.
Call Tony.
Call Tony.
I will call Tony. I promise.
Yeah, Tony, first commercial. Cosio will definitely insure you, and it should be cheaper than that. They're gonna make you jump through hoops that so big you can't, or so small you can't even think you fit through them.
They're fucking annoying.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what they do now.
Health insurance is a good question though, because I carry all my entire family, and there's 7 of us in my job. So that is a question. How, like, I know you can get
that's gonna raise your shit.
I'm not trying to pry, but you're married or no?
Yes.
So your wife is stay home?
My wife she is an insurance agent, strangely enough. Works from home. But her employer, because insurance agencies are similar to what we do, right? They're kind of independent contractors, so to speak.
Check.
They will only insure her.
So yeah, I got you. So
no, Wesley, do not call me. American Family won't touch us with a 10-foot pole. I promise you that much.
Most won't. So generally speaking, no, sorry, not generally speaking. Let me get on thought here. So if you have 7 kids and you quit your job to go to 0, guess what you get? Free healthcare.
Ooh, touche.
I hope nobody's listening to this that cares. I'm still on it. I don't know how. I do not know how. I'm on the up and up. I file my taxes. I claim what I make. I've stated what I make on some of these later in the show a couple times. But it just keeps getting renewed. We're just still on it. So what is it? Medicare or Medicaid? Medicare. Yeah. And we're ready. Like Michelle and I have mentally prepared ourselves to get kicked off for the last 2 years, right? And just we're kind of riding the wave. But yeah, I mean, like I quit, and she was like, "What are we gonna do about insurance?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, we're gonna be a family of 4 that makes $24,000 a year. Like, we're gonna get Medicare, and it was like, ding, on, good to go. The pandemic helped, right? So it was extended through 2020, and I think all of 2021, like automatically by some federal whatever legislature thing. And then here we are in 2023, knock on wood, still on it. It renewed 20.
I think it's because you live in Louisiana and they feel sorry for you.
They should. Look, they should. So it's good. It's it's a balancing act. Okay. But yeah, insurance. So the other thing you can do for health insurance. Okay. So there is a startup. I always want to call them Stripe, and I know that's wrong because that's the credit card processor, but it's similar name to that. If you start Googling, Google entrepreneur health insurance. They generally buy that Google ad, right? So they've got the CPC for that. It's Stripe, or it's an S, and it's one quick word. But it's literally a startup. They're not a startup now. They're at scale. They were a startup back in 2019, trying to offer, and they're venture capital backed, like it's a real startup, offering healthcare, affordable healthcare to entrepreneurs to try and help make that leap. I looked into all of that, and it was right. It's obviously was at the time I looked into it in 2019. I haven't looked into it since, but it was more expensive than what I was paying at my employer, but that's to be expected. But it's good coverage. The other thing you can do, and this is my old CPA, who I've since fired. Okay, but she told me that you can do. Man, I'm not going to remember the freaking name of this thing either. But you do this thing where it's like a co-op, basically, and so it's like charity funded or something. Like, I don't remember. And so you go to the doctor and you tell the doctor your cash pay, and then you have to pay cash, and then you put in the reimbursement thing, and then they reimburse you for your charges. Okay, you get a insane discount when you're cash pay. Okay, so like you go to do dental and it's $1,200. You tell them cash pay, all of a sudden it's like $300 or $400. Okay, so the way that this, we'll call it a co-op because I fucking can't remember the name of it. The way it works is they pool the money together, you cash pay, and then they reimburse you, right? So you're getting the cash pay discount and then getting it post haste. So as long as you got to have the capital to pay for it up front, of course. So if you have some crazy extreme health conditions, either you or in your family, that's probably not the way to go. Oh, Dave said he's in a co-op and can't explain. Dave, if you can explain, that would be badass, because I'm doing a terrible job of it. I'm educating people that it exists.
Can you use credit cards?
No.
Yeah, so we're actually on a bill share co-op for our insurance. We have been since the Obamacare stuff came in place, because it counted towards the taxing, whatever. Anyways, so what happened? You pay your dues, so your monthly dues are considerably cheaper than they would be for traditional insurance. With my specific one, we have to pay the first $1,000 of an event. Now, when you go in and you ask for that cash discount, like Nick said, say they give me $750 of a cash discount, that goes towards my $1,000 deductible, and then I would only pay $250, and then the rest is shared. So there is you have to be able to pay upfront a little bit. But your monthly premium, so like I have a family of 4, my monthly premium is $720 a month. So something to think about. We're pretty happy with it. There's a handful of companies out there that do it. If you just look at health insurance, bill share, you can find ones that you can do it with.
Yeah, there you go. That was a much better explanation. But yeah, that's what I think the route that we're gonna go whenever we expire off of Medicare. Because yeah, we can handle that easy, and sticking it to the insurance companies, you know what I mean? Sticking to the man is always feels good, you know what I'm saying? All right, I dropped Tony's information in both the chats. I totally forgot to put the link. I don't know if anybody joins the Zoom from Facebook. I have no idea, but there you go. Got the link in there and pin it. I did a bad job of that. Doing the pregame with the Jumpstart folks kind of threw me off my game a little bit there. Anyways, all right, cool. Okay, what other questions do you guys have? Tony's number is in the chat. Tony's numbers is in the chat. Going back through the Zoom chat right now. Gymshark. Christian, I almost bought some Gymshark stuff for my wife, actually, but then decided not to. Lots of people. Oh yeah, I'm going to say this too. I want to publicly say this, kind of towards the beginning of the show, so I hope a lot of people are still watching. If you're happy at your job, ignore everything I just said, right? Everything, all my little story I just told, everything was like me being like, when I tell you I was miserable at my job, it's probably an understatement. But like, I have this absolute and complete utter obligation to never do anything poorly. And so I put my entire fucking being into that job. Most importantly, the people that worked for me, that's really where all the effort went. So like, was trying to be an amazing leader to, the 300 to 500 people below me, while being frustrated and miserable and hating what the top of the funnel was doing. You know what I mean? So for me, getting out, I quit and went to zero, selling garbage on the side of the road. You know what I mean? Like that tells you how passionate I was about being upset and angry. If I had some other job that was, 8 to 4 and nice and easy and paid a dope wage and had a dope pension, like would I be here? I have no idea. You know what I mean? I have no idea. Like, right? There's nights I lay in bed awake thinking about how much I just wish I was the guy that liked the $80,000 a year job and to go play softball. Like, how much easier is life if you just like your job, or at least can just put up with it and don't give a fuck. And then you can just go do cool things. Like, you just go on fishing trips and play softball and coach soccer. And no, not me. Like, that's just not me. Like, I've got to be a maniac and have my hand in the knife.
It's funny that you say that, Nick, because I say the exact same thing, where it's like, life would be so much easier if we just stayed the 9 to 5, if I did, my fiance did, we would have a good life too, making good money, but it's just not enough.
And that's it. Like, I have to be building things. So like, if I could go work at a startup, right? But I don't know anything about tech. So I'm just like, that was the thing. Like, when I was trying to leave, I was trying to find another job at one point. Like, it was very early. It was probably that 2018-ish. I was like trying to find another job that would be less intense so I could start something on the side and not have to go to zero. And it was just kind of like, there's just nothing out there that I want to do. Like I just want to be a businessman. That's all that I wanted.
Soul's up now.
What's that?
Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't muted.
Oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, I mean, so if you're happy at your job, like, ignore everything I just said and just keep being happy at your job. Like, there's a stigma in the world that entrepreneurship is cool. Like, entrepreneurship right now, limelight, in its prime, in its heyday, and it is cool. But what you don't realize about it being cool is playing in the NBA is fucking cool too. You know what I mean? Playing the NFL is cool too. Being Beyonce is pretty cool too, right? All those things have talents though that go along with them, and discipline and hard work and determination. Entrepreneurship's the same thing, but it's just like we just discovered it. So everybody just thinks, like, you know what I mean? That it's like beers on the beach while your people do the work and you just print money and like it's all fucking fun and games. We all drive Denali 3,500, GMCs, and it's like, no. It's
Yeah, but at the same time though, the 9 to 5 isn't even the 9 to 5 anymore, man. You know what I mean? It's the 8 to 6. It's the, like, or my job, it's the 7 to 6. It's 6 days a week. It's, it's, you're working your ass off too, and you're not getting inflation's crazy high on top of it. So why not try to go make something for yourself? Because those 9 to 5 salaries don't cut it anymore.
Dude, I can only imagine. I mean, so I left in 2019, pre-COVID, and then COVID is what spurred all the inflation craziness, right? So, and I had a good salary. I had some $0 bonus years, but I had some dope bonus years. We did well. Like, before we had kids, my wife drove a Cadillac on freaking 20-inch rims, like chrome 20s that sparkled from like 2 miles away. You know what I mean? Now I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, they would have had to probably double my salary in order for me to survive now. But what's funny is, because I'm a business owner, right? So this is a perk of being an entrepreneur and a business owner. So as inflation goes up, like, it's our fault. Like, we're the ones, inflation's our fault, right? Because as inflation goes up and things start to cost more for us, we're like, fuck you guys, we're going up too. We're raising our prices too. So, like, people were complaining about gas prices, and I'm like, I put more miles on my trucks than most anybody I know, and I don't give a rip, because the radius shrank for free delivery, and then the delivery fee went way up. You know what I mean? We didn't make any less money, right? Because I can adjust accordingly to inflation, aka we're the ones that cause inflation, right? So in my opinion, which is very one-sided, obviously, being an entrepreneur is the shit. Like, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I would not trade it for the world.
Yeah, well, every business that people work for, 9 to 5, like I work in, I told you I'm in automotive service. They raised their labor rate here to $170 an hour at my shop. I didn't get a pay raise. I
Right.
just, do you know what I mean? So the thought process as I'm venturing into entrepreneurship is I'm already an entrepreneur, because the only thing my work does for me now, everything else is on me. So, everybody that has 9 to 5s, you're the owners of those businesses, raise their prices every damn year and don't pay their employees enough to offset it. So why not go do it ourselves?
Yeah, I mean, when I almost got fired, I was told when I was getting my ass chewed, I was told that the decision whether or not to fire me went all the way up to the board of directors, right, of a pretty big corporate, publicly traded, $1 billion, is over $1 billion in sales, right? Went to the board of directors whether or not to fire me. And in that, like, right? In that moment, it's hard to digest, but later on, after like I'd kind of quote unquote taken the red pill, I started thinking about it. I'm like, the decision to fire little old me went to a table of dudes that literally do nothing and get paid somewhere in the ballpark of 500,000 to who knows how many millions of dollars. Yet I'm out here absolutely killing myself. Like I said, falling asleep on a Friday night on the couch at 7:30 was a regular occurrence.
Same.
Because I drained myself so hard. You know what I mean? And by the way, still had to work Saturdays sometimes, right? Because I work retail. I'm like, and my decision went to the board of directors, a bunch of rich dudes that is a CEO of some other company and gets paid $700,000 to sit here and like decide of what to do with my, you know what I mean? I'm just like, nope.
I don't know why you're being coy about the business you work for, because it says it on one of your sites.
Oh, I'm just, yeah, no, I'm so I put out a new YouTube video today, which was how I got into the bounce house business. And so like, it's basically me sitting in front of a camera, talking, telling the story of how I got into the bounce house business. It's going to be like a, dope little 45-minute video. Nope. Ended up being 2 hours. Totally didn't even realize it. I was just talking and telling the story, whatever. But in that video, I'm very frank about everything. I air it off. I just don't like to talk about the bad parts of my job that made me unhappy and mention them. Right. I will mention them when I talk about how much I used to love it. Like I have tattoos. It was Journeys. It's a shoe store, Journeys. Like I have Journeys tattoos. I was district manager of District 13. I have a 13 tattoo on my leg. That's why I have a 13 tattoo on my leg. The best man at my wedding still works there. And then 2 of my other groomsmen worked there at the time. Like it shaped my whole life. It taught me everything I needed to know to do what I've done. Like what I've done, not internet wise. Internet wise, I had to teach myself, but business wise, like scaling the jump off and scaling my Christmas light business, especially the hiring, I learned at Journeys, and without Journeys, I wouldn't be a successful entrepreneur, right? So I'm very comfortable talking, saying who it is publicly, the company publicly, when I've got both sides of the story. But just the happenstance of tonight's episode was like super negative, and I didn't want to paint them in a negative light because I still have a lot of people have actually quit after I did, but I do still have some near and dear friends that work there, and I have respect even for, you know what I mean, the VP that I was talking about earlier that checked his email after he told me to F off about my schedule thing. I still got mad deep respect for him, you know what I mean? So it's like I just want to make sure that I tell both sides of the story if I'm going to mention the company name. That's why.
Journeys is overpriced.
It is, bro. I bought Michelle a Easter present. I still get a discount there. Don't tell anybody. But this one, like I was just moving too quick. I'm like, I don't have time to fucking go beg for a discount from my old employees. I'm still close with my old employees, but I'm like, I just paid full price. And then I looked at the fucking thing. I'm like, oh my God, what did that just cost me, dude? That's insane.
I'd much rather pay double for Lululemon.
Yeah, agreed. I was buying shoes, not shorts. So Lulu for life, for sure.
Give me your man card.
When I started at Journeys, Converse cost $34. And Vans, I think Vans also cost $34, but nobody fucking wore Vans back then.
I show up in the $800 polo suit now.
Yes, bro, get it.
Yeah, but at the same time, Nick, when you started at Journeys, gas was probably $1.89 a gallon, so everything's gone up, man.
Pretty close. Yeah, probably pretty close. I mean, I started working. I worked there from an age 18 to 34. So it was like literally the most formative thing of my entire adult life was working at Journeys.
Actually, if you guys were at the HEC party, you seen my Paisley polo. It's just fucking worth it. It's just worth looking like $800.
Let's see. All right, let me go check some pirate flags, bro. We got some pirate flags up in here. Oh, and some people.
I need to see what this $800 polo looks like.
What?
Pull it out the closet. I want to see what this $800 polo looks like. Pull it out the closet.
You didn't see it at the HEC?
Nah, I must have
Were you
missed it.
there?
Yeah, I was there.
Uh,
I rolled up Jana's game.
let me see if I can find it.
He gave me $50.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Here's the bottoms.
You paid $800 for that goofy poncho?
Oh, goofy poncho. Those are the bottoms.
You know,
Yo,
I
you don't know how much pussy that shit gives me.
That
I
thing,
did
I
see
can find, I
someone.
can find that thing at the flea market. The little Mexican guy makes them.
It totally. I may or may not look like a couch wearing it.
Justin, you looked amazing in it. Don't worry.
That shit was fire. Trust me, I know.
All right. Speaking of that, somebody asked about merch. So while we're on clothing, let's see. Oh, Ariel asked about merch. So I found a local printer that prints these. Oh, wait, go down. Yeah, that prints these, and like the camera on this MacBook kind of sucks, but the printing on these shirts kind of sucks.
You
but I
can get
them
these
for
shirts for like
$8.
$10, dude.
No,
Yeah,
I don't like
$10.
those shirts at all, man. No offense to you, but I hate those kind of tie-dye shirts.
Yeah.
Well, where do you get your shirts for $10 though? Because my locals are
Sultan
expensive.
Ahmad, freaking from some foreign country.
Can you key that in down there in the chat?
Yeah. Let me see if I can get his Facebook profile.
Justin, do they have different designs or is it all just tie dyes?
Oh, you do whatever you want. They can print whatever you want on a t-shirt.
And those are the dry fits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta be dry fit. Yeah, I think I get ours for $8 or $9, something like that. But the
The
best
hell is
part
this?
I trade water slide rentals for them, so they're free. Like I mean,
Maybe that's what I gotta do.
yeah. So there's a local hardware store. It's like, I mean, it's probably like 2 miles down the road. It's just like this mom and pop hardware store. It's called Pennington's. The Penningtons own it. Like all the kids work there. Like it's just like this charming little, hardware store. And then I have an entrepreneur friend that Jake and Angela, they own Jake's Lawn Care. They do lawn care. And I was like, Angela, where the hell do you get your shirts made? She's like, Pennington's. I'm like, wait, the hardware store? She said, look at the fucking sign, dipshit. Next time I drive by, it literally says Pennington's Hardware, and then in bigger letters, and screen printing. I'm like, oh wow. So
Chris would be pissed about that. And
I
you
was-
separate that, Brandon.
it was funny. But yeah, anyway, so I went in and kind of made friends with Jennifer, and she's like, wait, you do bounce house rental? Can we just like trade shirts for bounce houses and water slides? I'm like, yes, we sure can. So I trade. It's great.
I love trading for stuff. I trade for car repair. I trade for weed. I trade for like bartering and stuff like that. I got my rent to $1,000 a month, and I have an 1,800 square foot warehouse, and it's right around the corner for me. And he didn't even up my rent; it's my lease just went up, and he didn't even freaking up my rent or anything because I give him a bounce house like once a year. So like I just throw him a party in his backyard. He still tries to pay me. I'm like, just tip my guys. Like I'm not worried about it. You gave me really good rental price and whatnot. So he's cool with me. He's also a member of that club that I was talking about.
The trade. You're at the trade club.
It's called the Big Timers Club. It's the Italian American club.
I trade for cash.
So then, yeah, I do that now and then. I also,
Freddie, they're talking about bartering,
you can
not
trade for some cool stuff with a bounce house. You can get some cool discounts, and I know people that like literally trade for daycare or something like that. Like they do.
I gotta up my barter game. Jeez, look at you guys.
Oh yeah, bounce house is a great bartering commodity. So are tents.
I got a person that he wanted to barter for AC service, which down in Florida you definitely need it.
Yep. I would have went and found a new AC and be like, okay, you put that in here, you hook this all up, I'll rent you the water slide.
Yeah, bro, your AC breaks. It's lights out. Like it's over for you if your AC breaks.
Oh yeah, forget it. In a matter of like 20 minutes, you're shitting
Yeah,
bricks.
yeah.
You're sweating bricks, bro.
We had
But
we
hey,
had ours.
you keep his number.
Where I'm at.
Yeah, we had ours. go
Freddie
out,
would just
and then,
toss them a concession, that's it.
Yeah, our next door neighbor is I think he owns. See, he's an electrician, and he's from Honduras. And then, but I think he owns his own company too. So he's like a foreman with one company, and then owns another company. He has like 5 trucks. I don't know. It's very confusing. And then his wife, Carmen's from Mexico, right? So I just texted, I'm like, hey, bro, I need an AC guy. And there's a dude at my door in like 4 seconds. Because they're like, they got pull in that community. So if you're like, hey, I need a plumber. We needed a plumber. And there was a dude named Carlos at my door in like 35 minutes. And he fixed the whole ass toilet. Like it was like leaking out the bottom, like right where it meets the floor a little bit. And he fixes the whole ass thing. I'm like, bro, how much? He's like, it's free. I'm like, it's not free. Like, well, how much do I? And I'm like, well, let me tip you. He wouldn't take any money left. Literally, it was free. I'm like, all right, bro. So I got the hookup.
People say it's the Mexicans, but it's not. It's the Hondurans.
Yeah, and it might have been. I don't know. But
Them
Yo, but
Hondurans.
can we have a
hustle.
conversation about waffles?
Eggo waffles? Yeah, I like
Like the
syrup butter on
raffles
mine.
and all that
Waffle?
shit?
I think it's
Oh,
white.
Them baffles?
We are live on Facebook, so use the word waffle.
I forgot we were on Facebook. Yeah, them baffles. I've literally been telling people like outside of the industry, like, yo, you want to win a bounce house for $25? Like,
Bro, get this. No. Get this. Okay, so this is my key strategy. I tell my employees, like, yo, bro, if you win this fucker, we'll just put it in my inventory, and then you get 20%. I'll cover everything else. I'll cover. You get 20%. So you get your employees in there, and then you get 80% of the revenue.
yep. Yeah, I've been telling all my guys and stuff. I've been telling a lot of people. I think it's funny. I tell people at the lounge, like, you want to win a bounce house? Like, they're all spend like $25.
Ultimate Jumpers do the obstacle course giveaway yet? Did you get it?
I don't know if he did a giveaway, but that's one of the reasons I want to lead into this, because William Gann, he wanted me to like give him a little help. He's not paying me or anything, but he is coming down to he is the inflatable store.
Yep.
So he's coming down to Buffalo and stuff, and I guess me and Mike Miller, and we're gonna hang out and feed him chicken wings and whatnot and chill. But I think he's gonna do the raffle here actually this time. He did one with Ishmael. He's gonna do one here, and we'll let it the waffle baffle. We'll basically do that off like here though. So shameless plug if you want to get some ticks.
When is Foam Daddy gonna do a waffle?
I could ask Paul about a waffle. I don't know. To be clear, we all know waffles are bad. And like
in what context?
Like
they're high cholesterol,
they're illegal.
very fatty, bad for diabetes.
They're illegal.
Too much syrup, bro.
Yeah,
they're considered gambling.
Go that one.
And like
they're illegal.
What are you talking about, bro?
They're like
Eggo
illegal.
waffles are amazing.
Federally or Facebookily?
Federally and in the state of California.
Well, you got to be approved of it.
You have to be a charity to get approved.
It's only illegal if you get caught.
He's getting real close to being done. For $100, you could win an $8,900 obstacle course.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
That's
so it's
Albert's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I just spent $40 and got a $4,800 water slide.
There you go.
That's a nice slide too.
Killing it. Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's
who can't toss $100 into almost a $9,000 obstacle course?
Yeah, but how much did you spend in all the waffles?
What's that?
How much did you spend in all of the waffles?
Are you up or are you under?
Oh, I'm way under. Way under.
Okay, good.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I say it's gambling.
I've spent a total of $50 and I'm up.
I mean, the obstacle course, I got one ticket in there. I am number 35 And if that pulls out for $100, I just got a $9,000 obstacle course.
Well, Mark, there was one, the one that I watched. It was one that Ishmael did live, with them, with the inflatable store. It was like ticking, and it was like tick, 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 tick. Mark good. I'm like, oh, Mark won it, and then it like
I know,
kept going. And it
bro. I was like, yo.
I was like, oh my god. That
Yeah,
was
the
so
way
cool.
the way they did it, the way they went live and did it, it was like the anxiety in your system is just going nuts. All right, come on, man, go to the next one. Stop talking and go to the next drawing. Pick the next number. They took so long. It was like, oh my god. So
Wait, they weren't just picking. I thought they just picked one person and they just talked it up for a minute, and then they just picked one person
So
and hit a button and spin it
they
out.
were gonna do elimination.
Yeah, I don't think he did the elimination thing. That's what Albert does. To be honest, I think the elimination thing brings more draw, is kind of more fun. Mike Miller tell me he freaking made it to like number 99 out of 100 and fucking was screaming. He called
him
his
and I
name
made it
last
to the
instead
end
of
on
the
the
other.
water. Him and I made it to the end on the water slide. He had one ticket, I had one ticket at the end on the water slide, and we had both been screwing with each other prior to that because neither one of us has won crap, you know. And I think he's got more money into those things than I do, and we were both teasing. And he said something to me about, man, that'd be pretty cool if we were at the end. Lo and behold, it was me and him. And I won, of course. Yeah, I'm catching shit still in my message box from him, but that's I got the
You
water
should
slide.
totally blow it up,
Did you
Put the
send him
water
the
on,
video of the trout?
slide it down.
I did do a live video with it in a park over on the beach and put it on in the groups. I don't remember what group I put it in. I think, Nick, you told me how to share it to other groups, and my retarded ass couldn't figure out how to do it.
That was cool. The
But I
one,
want-
the seaweed one was trippy, man.
The talk tonight was supposed to be about people want to jump into the business. You know,
It was about quitting.
There's a couple things that sit in my mind about it. And Brandon really kind of hit the nail on the head with the financial aspect part and having to work a 9-to-5 job. And we all know those jobs they're not 9 to 5 no more. And if it is 9 to 5, they're making you work 9 to 7 in 9 to 5. But what you really, I'm kind of old school about it. I look at first, how much money do you need to live comfortably to go out on your own? You need to, someone that wants to jump on their own, it's good to just take that chance and say, screw it, I'm done. I'm going to go buy bouncers and do it with the unknown what's going to happen. But then there's so many of us that
So
we have to have so much money a month to live. So my thoughts would be to anybody is write down, what do you need to live before you make the jump? How much do you need to live? Then look at what you're making where you're at.
are you talking pleasure included or just?
Mute yourself, Freddie.
No
And
pleasure, Freddie.
what? That took me off.
No, I was
the
asking a question.
So
No, that's
you need
actually
to,
the answer.
you need to almost set a business plan to what you need before you make the jump. Not everybody's got that entrepreneurship like Nick had in his mind, what he wanted to do. Not everybody had a job where he had the advantage of learning how to do some of the things he wanted to do on his own. So the majority of us, like me, I'm a painting contractor. I've been a painting contractor since 1990. And what is that, 34 years now, I guess. And I've been doing the inflatables for 20 years along with it. So I work 7 days a week for the past 20 years. And so I run 2 full-time businesses. Do I want to make the jump? Oh, hell yes, I do. But boy, that painting company, you get a nice job and you make $10,000 in a week. Boy, that sure does, that's nice. It's hard to walk away from that. But to the people that want to just start a business like this, I seriously think you need to have a business plan in your mind. What do you need? Because if you just say, you know what, man, I'm getting tired of working at Home Depot. I'm going to go buy some bounce houses. I see these people out there making $500 a weekend, $600 a weekend. We're going to take a jump. You're probably going to fail because you don't have a plan. You don't have an idea of what you need and what you want to get or how you want to get to that point. So you need to kind of have a little bit of a business plan, in my opinion. This is my opinion, and business and law was a big thing with me in school, so I'm pretty smart at it. If you don't have that, you need to have a backup. You, like Nick was saying, you can either succeed or you fail. Go back and find a job and work 9 to 5. My opinion is, if you want to succeed, set a business plan, even if it's a small one. The business plan can go from here to there. You just need one to start. That's all you need, is a little plan to start. But the finances is the biggest thing. You need to look at what your expenses are every month. What do you need to live? And then think about it and go, okay, can I make that with only 3 bounce houses starting out? Do I need to start this business and keep working, then jump into it? But even then, you need to have a plan. You need to know what you're going to do, or you're going to be working every day, every night, every weekend, cleaning, paperwork, emails, booking, rentals, cleaning, emails, booking, talking about sleeping at 5 o'clock. Everyone's come home from work, like Nick was saying, from Journey, which, by the way, I sent an email to Mr. Espada, the CEO of Journey, so you're getting a discount. You're going to take those 5 o'clock naps. I take them every day, because you're just exhausted. So you need to be prepared for that, to be able to go out on the business. But I still say the biggest thing is for anybody is to have some kind of a plan, because if you don't, it ain't gonna work. You're just,
and then you need to
put it in your pocket. You're spending money. You're not watching it. You're not setting the money to where it needs to go. You're not categorizing what you need to spend on. You're not worried about your taxes. You're not worried about your Social Security. You need to worry about all that stuff if you want to be an entrepreneur. I mean, that's my opinion.
Mark, I wanted to piggyback on it to answer your question too more, Freddie.
Excuse me.
I help people with their personal finances, and one of the things that I always recommend is what he was saying, where set up list all your expenses, and I mean by paycheck, really. It's not like a monthly expense. You list all your bare minimum expenses, not the luxuries, just what to survive. Because if you want to be like an entrepreneur bad enough, you should be willing to sacrifice some of the luxuries. So you want to kind of budget where it's just all the essentials. And then the other thing that you would also need is save up 3 to 6 months, even maybe 9 months of your expenses, just in case things go bad. And that 3 to 9 months is determined based on, one, your lifestyle. Like me, I have, a family, I have 3 kids, house, a lot of expenses, versus someone that's 20 that might not have that many expenses. There's a lot to sacrifice in my sense. So I had to make sure I had a lot in my savings so that I could take this leap.
So is that what they're saying is that what you guys are saying as far as making a plan, is to figure out?
No.
I don't mean to sound
Well,
ignorant,
he might be saying business plan.
That's part of the plan, but what Kevin just said about having a little nest is so surreal. And I'm gonna use me as this experience here. We all got hit by COVID, every one of us. There was so many people that had monthly bills out on inflatables and equipment, and they couldn't pay the bills, and we saw them all selling their shit. We all did it. We all saw it in these groups. If you were in the groups during COVID, you saw it. That's one thing Kevin just said, is my grandfather was one of the first licensed painting contractors under the licensing board in Indian River County. And he told me when I started my business, he said to me, do not take your first job till you have money in the bank in case it fails. And then after I started working, he told me, and I'll never forget this, have at least 6 months of your bills in the bank, because you never know when that work's not going to be there. And when COVID hit, I had 9 months of my bills and stuff in the bank. Actually, it was in the safe in my room. I was out of work. I was out of work for almost an entire year with my painting company because nobody wanted me in that house with COVID. You know, the COVID, you're going to kill everybody if you breathe on, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And that money that was put away that Kevin was just talking about is so essential. People don't even know how real essential it is. And in our business, we need to learn when our slow season is, we need to put supplies from our busy season to the side for slow season, because that money is what's going to get us through slow season. So that was a 1000% point that Kevin said, that every single one of us, including Nick, including Justin, including any one of us, even Ventured, even Cobus, needs to have that.
So someone like Nick only really needed 3 months based on him saying I had 6 jobs in line and I could have just secured
Yeah, but
anything
he's
at
not
any
going to have them
moment.
jobs anymore because I emailed the CEO of Journey to get rid of him.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I hope you put in a good word. I miss Jim. I like.
But that's where it's
I love Jim.
that's where it's like, if you're in a position like I'm in accounting, which is fairly easy in my area to be able to get a job. So I know theoretically I needed 3 months, but I made sure to have like pretty much a year plus.
Mhm.
But someone who has a more riskier field or, you know, background, I should say, then they should really go the 6 to 9 months of savings.
So the saving is also part of your plan?
Absolutely.
Your personal
Okay, so now
finance plan.
I have a question. So I hear a lot of the recession being brought up.
Not
For
anymore.
those that have been here, like for like Mark, what do you have planned in case we do hit some kind of downfall? Are you relying on that money that you saved?
He's
Well,
going on
absolutely, you have
OnlyFans.
to. But I've been saying this to quite a few people in this business and quite a few manufacturers, including Jump Orange, including Bouncing Angels, including Leisure. I've got 2 billionaire painting clients in my town. These guys made their money from the ground up. Most of them knew about and had the Great Depression felt through their money. And they both told me similar, that this inflation that we're seeing now, we have not seen what it's going to do yet. And you need to prepare yourself for that. You need to watch your expenses. You need to make sure your stuff is paid for. Don't go out and buy stuff where you got payments in this type of atmosphere that we're in right now with this inflation. Don't put your overhead any higher than you have to have, because we are non-essential business. They don't need to hire any one of us. We're not a plumber, we're not electricians, we're not air conditioning people that they have to have. We're a fun time company. We're the first ones they can say, you know what? I'm not spending $600 with these guys. I got to go get groceries and pay my bills. We are the first. And so is my painting company. That's why I think my painting company has slowed down this year, because they don't have to hire someone to paint their house to live. So I think putting money to the side, Freddie, is a big thing in a business plan for something like this. And I truly am following what I was told by these guys, because I trust them. They didn't become billionaires for chewing bubble gum and talking at the same time. They know what they're doing. And I think Kevin is a finance man. I think he said he probably knows also what I'm saying. It could happen. And if it happens and we're not ready with money in our backup, you're going to be behind in bills. You're not going to be able to pay things. You're not going to be able to get that extra food you need or what have you. Will it get that bad? I hope to God it doesn't. But could it? I would be prepared.
Well, we could just keep printing money, though.
No, you can't. Who's going to print money?
Mark, I'm messing with you.
I know, but I know. But
I was going to say, like, when Justin,
who is going to do that? Who is going to put money into Goliath inflatables pockets, in little jumpers pockets? Only us that work. And if they don't want to hire us, then they can't hire us. We're not making money unless we have something else to fall onto. And Well, I don't have nothing else to fall onto, but my companies are non-essential.
So someone
So-
brought up credit, and I'm big into credit cards. I don't know if you've seen me on Facebook, but the one thing that will go when shit hits the fan is your credit. They're not going to give you credit. They're going to like get rid of all that. So people can't rely on that.
Hey, Freddie and everybody. Hey,
yeah.
this is Maurice. So, I'm with you with the credit card. So for me, I use my credit first because how I look at it is, if stuff hit the fan, it hit the fan. My credit don't matter. If I have, so I agree of putting 6 months aside. Right now, I'm at 3 months because I'm looking to make that jump. But it is so hard. I have a family. It's 6 of us. I have 3 kids, my wife, and my mother-in-law. We just bought a house in 2020. The family relies on me for the full income and support. So it's so hard to try to save up that extra money that you guys are saying to do. I mean, I've done it because I've almost killed myself. Literally, I had to go to the hospital, stay a couple of days, but taking side jobs, doing extra jobs, taking little jobs down the street. It doesn't really, like you already been out. If somebody call you last minute, you just take it, or go put up somebody's TV or however, just so that I can try to save up and have a nest. But how I look at it is, if I use my credit cards now and I keep a decent, I try to pay them off every month, and I try to use them for the rewards points. But if I use my credit cards and then I pay my cash at the end of the month, if something happens, excuse my language, but the credit can go. I got my cash in my pocket, and hopefully the dollar means something, and I can support my family with the dollar. I mean, that's how I think about it.
The credit can go, but you have to understand that you're setting yourself back like pretty much a decade if you let your credit go.
Yeah.
I would rather not.
Like 7 years for it to grow off of your actual credit.
7-10 years. So I would rather not.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I'm not saying, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying just let it go, because my credit, I have built my credit up. What I'm saying is, if it comes down to a point where it's me paying my credit cards off or paying a bill, and my family needs to eat, the lights need to be on, so be it. It's about to get louder here because my kids about to come in, but so be it. The credit can go. That's what I'm saying. I pay my credit stuff on time. I pay it at the end of the month. And I love my free points, and I love getting them points with no interest rates.
As long as you're not paying interest, right?
Exactly. As long as you're not paying interest, I get it.
Well, this isn't financial advice too, but just so people understand how credit works. I don't know if everybody actually knows this, but you should have like 5 or 6 credit cards.
Yeah.
You should have a shit ton of credit on your name. If you use more than 30% of your credit, it fucks with your score. So if you have 20 cards and you have 20,000 in credit, you can use, a third of that. But if you only have one card because you only need a 5,000 limit, you can really only use 30% of that, or else you're going over. And then
before your statement
credit
comes
cards,
out.
you can rob Peter to pay Paul. So you just pay the percentages and start moving it from month to month. And now it's like, so for example, if you ran up that $20,000, don't fucking do this, by the way. Look, so if you run up the bill $20,000 and you had another card that allowed you to do another $20,000, you can transfer the balance and you'd only owe like 1 or 2% more of that entire thing. So now what you're doing is you wouldn't owe a $20,000 bill on this one card. So if you're ever late a month having multiple credit cards, you can do stuff like that. But
business cards.
How the freaking rich juggle money around. But that's another story.
Like my business cards, except for Capital One, because Capital One actually reports to your personal. But like Chase, I've maxed them all out. And the reason why I've maxed all my business credit cards is because I have that money in a savings giving me like 4%. While I'm paying it off before the 12 months. So I'm just having the banks pay me instead of me wiping off.
Yeah, if you're getting 4% a month on return, it sounds like it's an investment account.
But business credit cards don't show up on your report, so it won't lower your credit, just so everyone knows.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
except for Capital One and Discover. Those they
Correct,
do.
correct. If you get a business card, it does not. It's not supposed to show up on your personal credit.
So, all right, can
I was talking about personal credit, and that's another thing too. Like personal loans are better than trying to actually get like actual financial loans from like there's companies that'll freaking let you try and do like a payment plan through them and shit, and suddenly you have to give the fucking inflatable up, and you're not allowed to pay the freaking early at all. So now you have to give up the inflatable after 3 years. You're not even allowed to sell it. All kinds of crazy stuff. Like you're better off just like getting a personal loan and loading it to the company. Sorry for cutting you off, Nick.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So, I fully intended on the conversation going the way that Mark was taking it after I was done talking. So the reason I say that is because I wanted to tell my story, which and I'm an outlier. I'm crazy. Please don't do what I did. Right. Mark is absolutely right, and he's bringing up all the things that I didn't bring up because I didn't want to talk on my little monologue there for 50 minutes. So, but I tried to allude to it when I talked about I had my bonus in the bank, right? So we had more than my yearly wages in savings, like cash money, not invested, nothing in savings. So we could quit. So I could quit my job, and we knew we could live for a year, right? And my wife does very well, but as a hairstylist, but we knew we could live for at least a year just on what's in savings and not even have to change our lifestyle, right? That being said, I drastically changed my lifestyle. I stopped drinking as much beer and bought the cheapest. Oh no, I didn't drink Keystone, but I bought almost the cheapest crap I could buy, right? Changed everything because quitting my job was going to take me personally to zero and cut the family in half, basically. So changes had to be made, right? That had to be planned ahead of time so we could have money in the bank to make sure that we could live. The other thing I want to touch on is Mark was talking about a business plan. Okay, so what a business plan is kind of like, I'm going to give you my definition from where I sit. A business plan is where you sit down at a computer and you write out a bunch of made up words and numbers. And you basically what you're doing is you're projecting out. I'm going to buy 5 bounce houses. They're going to rent, every 1/8 of a weekend. No, sorry, 0.8 weekends they'll rent out for this amount of money. So I'll be bringing in this amount of money per week, this amount of money per month, right? And what you're doing is you're just basically making it up what you think is going to happen. So then that way you have a plan for the business to follow, and then you can go make a life plan that kind of matches your business plan, right? A business plan is generally built so you can go get financing, right? So you can go get money behind you. Like it's like a startup thing. And you go say, I'm gonna have this many users on my new app by this time, and they're gonna be paying this much per month, and we're gonna have this new user rate. And you project out all these fake numbers so you can go get financial backing. Okay, that's not to say a business plan is a good thing or a bad thing. It just is. That is what it is. You made it up, but it's a plan that you made up. But when you're going to quit your job, that can be important if that is, I'll say it, if that's your personality, so you know if you'll be able to pay the bills and if this is going to freaking work, right? I personally am not a business plan person. I'd rather just go out there. I'd rather go do this than make up words on a spreadsheet, right? Most people are not me. Most people want to build a business plan so they understand what's going to go happen with the business in their best estimations on paper so they can plan accordingly, right? I'm a winger. I like to wing it. All right.
Let the business grow itself.
That's how I roll. That's how
I did it.
Yep. The other thing was with the
wait, sorry, I missed that. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. So
Let
the other thing
grow itself.
with the potential impending recession, all right, those fears have really subsided. That doesn't mean much because one thing about Wall Street is they're always wrong. They're always wrong, right? So it's not to say it couldn't be coming to fruition, but for all intents and purposes, it doesn't look like we're going to slip into like a recession. And by the way, if we do a recession, it's not that big of a deal, right? We just remember the last one, which is known as the Great Recession of 2008, which was horrible. So the word recession triggers anybody that's of age, right? Anybody that's 35 years old or older gets triggered by that word. It just means the economy didn't grow for 2 consecutive quarters. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But to Mark's point, what happens during a recession is the people that are good with money stop spending money, aka the rich people. The rich people know we're in a recession, they stop spending money. It makes the recession worse, right? So a recession kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So have some fucking money saved up, so just in case we slip into recession, you guys are good to go. Now, if you have a high risk appetite, save up way more money, because what happens in a recession, it's like a garage sale for the entire nation.
Yep.
Everything's on sale. Everything drops in price, and you can get pennies on the dollar. You can get all sorts of great stuff. So if you have a high risk appetite and you're cash heavy coming into a recession, you're able to go gobble up some assets, and then you can, really push yourself into a new place as things come back out and we go back to bull market.
That's why the most amount of millionaires that are grown are during recessions.
Yeah, because it's a fire sale. It's a fire sale on everything. Like, I was not in a position financially, right? Because I worked for Journeys, and I was still a store manager in 2008. I ran one of the biggest stores on the West Coast. So like, right. But I mean, I made like $55,000 a year and lived in California. Like, right. Not that great. You know what I mean? I had like $8,000 in savings or whatever when the recession hit. So I had no way to go gobble up assets. But if you had liquid assets during 2008, 2009, oh my God, the stuff you could have bought, like, you'd be a jillionaire by now. You know what I mean? But it's high risk appetite though.
Yeah, I'm so scared to quit my job.
Yeah, I mean, it's right. I wasn't trying to paint it in a light of you should do it. I was trying to paint it in a light of, if you want to do it, then you should do it. Because if you want to do it,
Yeah,
Freddie, what do you think you need before you can make that decision?
So me and my wife talk about this all the time, and we have a semi-solid plan. I have 2 little ones that are in daycare still, which take up my wife's whole check. I mean, daycare is ridiculous. So before I even attempt, we agreed that both are out of daycare. So I got maybe another 2 years. And then, of course, that was when we initially started talking. But now my job has become very nuisance and annoying. And I'm losing my patience, especially after I know that I have doubled my income with the bounce houses compared to what I make at my job. So in theory, I don't need my job. I can afford to jump. But you have that, what if you get, I think it was February, January, I was dry. And it's like, okay, what if this happens for good? Or what if I get hurt and I can't afford it? And so now we're at, well, the job is becoming very annoying. I'm ready to quit. Like, my regional comes into my office and it's like, are you ready to fire me? Because at least I know if you fire me, I'm going to collect unemployment and I'll have a little tiny income coming in. And, he laughs about it. Last year, my boss and my regional came in to my office, and they sat me down and they're like, what is the future with you and us? And I straight up told them, I was like, look, right now, the way my business is running, I didn't expect it to be this. It's become priority. So they said, okay, we respect that. They're very flexible with my schedule. Over the summer, I wasn't showing up Mondays, and Fridays I was leaving early because I had so many. Like, I had more rentals. This is only my 3rd year, so I had a lot of rentals that I didn't, like, I had to start on Friday, deliver for Saturday and whatnot. So then they're understanding, but at the same time, it's like the stress is giving me chest pains, and I go home and I'm like, I'm done. I'm kind of where you're at, man. Where you I don't drink, so I go home and I sit on my couch and I watch whatever I'm watching and I end up falling asleep. And that's kind of it. But there's still that fear of not being able to be, because not being able to be able to provide for my family. And that's how my family raised us, that the men are the breadwinners. We have to support our family. So there's that fear. That fear's still there. I know you said fear is fake, but damn it, it's real to me.
Can I say something, Nick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, when I decided to quit, it was because, like you were saying, that you're afraid. Same thing. I was afraid to quit, but I was more afraid to not take the chance. Like fear of regret outweighed the fear of this consequence. Like regretting that I waited so long, I wasted so many years at my company. I should have quit years ago, and I still regret not having quit years ago. And I feel like, Freddie, you might feel the same way. I'm not trying to like push you to do it. Like if you don't have that nest egg and all the other stuff, then you should probably cushion that. But it seems like you're definitely at the point where like you're probably gonna regret it.
Yeah.
Right. And
yeah, go ahead, Freddie. Go ahead.
sorry, and like my brother will tell me that I'm doing things backwards, and I don't feel like I am, because I invested a lot of money in the inflatable. I have over 30 units, and not all of them go out, but I have at least 4 to 6 go out every weekend. So I have my view was to give customers options, not to have the common colors only. And I know everyone that I spoke to was like, "Oh, all you have to do is look big." I don't want to just look big. I want to be big. So I have everything's in my backyard. I have shelter for all the stuff. They're not out in like the rain and stuff like that. So I don't have any overhead. I have no employees. It's just me and my daughter. I guess she's my overhead. I pay her. My nephews, when they come, I pay them, but I can afford that. But right now it's because I don't rely on that money. So I currently have a really big chunk. I had bigger, but I just bought a truck. So I have a big chunk of change sitting in my closet that maybe will last me a year in the mortgage, to pay a year mortgage. But but my thing is, like, if something were to happen that I cannot move, because they're not, it's not like we're moving cookies. We're moving big ass units. So if I break a leg, there ain't no way my wife's gonna be like, "Let me help you move these. Let me help you deliver these." It's just not. It's not feasible. Like,
but that's the moment you'd figure it out how to hire. And there's a Tim Ferriss thing where he talks about it's in 4 Hour Work Week, right? I mentioned in the beginning of the show. Everybody should please go read that book. But he talks about, if you want to start, like, the whole premise of the book is to start a business that doesn't require you, right? You can kick it off and get it going, outsource everything quickly, make $100,000 a year, right? And remember, the book is 13 years old, but make $100,000 a year, traveling the world, checking email for 30 minutes a day, every day, right? 4 hours a week. But what he says in the book is, he says, think about your business and how you'd run it if all of a sudden you got diagnosed with some crazy heart condition where you could only work 3 hours a day. Now think about it where you can only work 30 minutes a day. You would die if you didn't work 30 minutes a day. And the point is, you would really quickly figure it out. Now, it's a fun thought experiment to go through to then set up the actual actions to go make it happen. Now, finding somebody that can drive the freaking truck and trailer on the insurance is that's a whole different show in and of itself, right? But if you can get over that hurdle, you would figure it out. You know what I mean? It would force you to.
I have literally, like, you know what's crazy? I hear the biggest problems all the time is like employees. I literally have to turn people down this year and have everybody from last year that worked wanting to work this year, including people that like left for personal reasons or whatever, but they literally wanted to come back. And I think it's how much I pay them and how I treat them. Like, I just, like, you know what I mean? I still am getting people hitting me up to work from a post I made last year. One post I made.
I I have two kids that want, one's, no, they're both 18. They're both 18 and graduating, and they both want to work from, like, they're both texting me like, hey, you said to text you on this day. Like, can I start? Like, what's going on? And like, as of right now, I don't have room for them. One of the kids was badass. The other one was, eh. You know what I mean? I would love to bring the badass one on, but it's kind of
What
like,
I do is I treat them. I have like an extras list, like a union list.
that's
And what
kind
I do is I
that's kind of what
I go
told me.
down that list when I need freaking people to watch inflatables or large events and shit like that. You guys want to have one of those lists on hand. Like, you guys don't need a bunch of 40-hour-a-week employees, but like a couple guys that can sit in front of an inflatable on call during the weekend, want to make a couple extra bucks here and there. If you had a list of that, have it in a Facebook group or some shit like that, that's good.
Yeah, and that's what I told him. I said, look, bro, at this exact moment, no, I really liked you. I'd love to bring you onto the team, but just like be ready for a text on a Friday afternoon that I need you tomorrow. And he's like, yes, sir, I'll be there. But yeah, I mean, it's, if you want to make the jump, like Freddie, like you're feeling it, like you're feeling what I was feeling, where it's just like, dude, if I just quit, you know what I mean? And you could put all your efforts into one nephew, or some guy that could come on and help out, like whatever the situation is. It's a tough situation to be in because right, there's only one right answer, but it's not the answer that you want it to be. But I can tell you, yeah, and obviously I don't know how you run your business or anything behind the scenes whatsoever, but I can tell you that once you do switch over and become full-time in it, the details will start to consume you. And I mean that in a good way, where you don't have the bandwidth to work on the website or just some goofy, right? Some just little teeny goofy thing that you need to do, but you have 30 of them. And you're like, it's fine, we're good. You know what I mean? I got this freaking job that drains me, and then I got to go run these slides on the weekend. The second that you have the opening to go work on them is the second that you can go work on them. And then you start to dive deeper, and you really, really, really make your business healthier very quickly. Where I mean, I don't know that you would double your revenue, but like your revenue goes up fast.
Right.
Because you're making that money while you're also making money for your old boss. If you're just spending all your time on making you more money, you will make more money.
Yep. I mean, the amount of time I spend doing dumb shit, like my wife still makes fun of me. She's like, how was your day? What'd you do today? I'm like, oh, I spent like about 2.5 hours working on the website. She's like, what? Dude, I've been to the website. It looks good. What the fuck are you working on? I'm like, just start telling her. She's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay.
Everything's so time consuming. Like,
It's
you could
crazy.
spend that. Like, time just flies, and she'll ask me the same thing. And I'll be like, honestly, I don't even know what I did, but I did stuff.
Yeah, I tell that.
I'm doing stuff. There's money in the accounts. Leave me alone.
Yeah. What'd you do today? I don't remember. I have no idea what I did today, but god damn it,
I just say computer. I don't say anything other than sat at my computer. I don't even fucking mention anything else. It's just like I was on my computer. If I was not on my computer, then I mentioned what I was doing. But if I was on my computer, I'm just on my computer. Magic happens when I sit in this little chair. I actually got to get a new chair. It's leaning so hard to the right that it's like it's ready to go. Like,
so let me say something about you guys talking to Freddie, and I'm looking at a thing here. Freddie, you can get a part-time job. Don't worry, from Lakeside Bouncers. The unknown for any of us is what scares us the most. We don't know if we're going to have the money to pay the bills if we go out on our own. We don't know if that work's going to come in. We don't know if we can afford to pay some company to give us the SEO to supposedly get us all this work in. We don't know that when we're starting this out on our own. And, Freddie's got a lot of competition around him, and he knows that. So
Yeah.
he's thinking about that too. When you got that kind of competition, it's easy for you, me, someone else to say, you know what, you're going to double your revenue. You can go out, you can get all these rentals, you can do this. No, it's not that easy. When every place is a different demographic, and we have to decide where we live, what we're doing. Can we make that demographic work for us to make money? So, excuse me. Let's say you live in a 25-mile town. That's your radius of your county. And within that 25 miles, you have 10 other rental companies doing the same thing you're doing. That person would need to think, okay, hey, little one, that person needs to think, can I make enough money with these other 10 companies to be able to survive? So, you know, Freddie, I think my suggestion to you, and I think you actually talked to me about going out on your own when you rented to my nephew. You need to see what you're making, or I'm going to use the business plan model. You need to, on a piece of paper on this side, write down what do you make a month with the inflatables. And on the paper on this side, write down what do you make on your job. And then you need to decide, can you do, or can you promote your business enough to raise this side up to equal the money that you're making on your regular job? And that's just to get started. And I'm not saying you get out there, you're going to double your money, because anybody that thinks they're going to start this thing and double their money right away, you're nuts. You're nuts. It don't happen. You can pay people to promote you, to get you SEO, to get you up in rankings. Will that get you more business? Absolutely, it may. It may. It's not a guarantee. None of that stuff is a guarantee for anybody. So your smartest thing, Freddie, is to, what I said is, if it was me, if I was you, which, you know, I'm probably better looking than you, but that's okay. I would put down what you make a month in rentals and put down what do you make a month on your regular job, and then sit there and go, okay, well, you know, I'm already ahead in rentals than I make on my regular job. Okay, you are ahead of the game now. Like, you see my hands, I guess, can you guys see them? This is your rentals. If all of a sudden you're making $700 more a month in rentals than you are on this job, you're ahead of the game. It's going to be easier for you then at that point. But if you're a little bit like this, you don't have that income coming in yet to supply what you need from this hand. Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah. So I'm already on, I do everything paper and pen. And, you know, I copy everything from the website to paper and pen. So I'm noticing I'm still noticing the double. I'm beating my regular job. I'm still beating my regular job. And this is now.
Do you have a percentage point of what you're beating it? 10%, 5%, 11%? Do you have a percentage that you're beating it by?
Sure.
Or a rough idea?
Probably like 40%.
That's pretty good.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
40% is pretty good. You could actually probably survive on that if you didn't grow anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Freddie,
like
I forget. Does your wife work? I can't remember if you said that.
yeah, she's a teacher.
So it's like, what, on top of her job, what more do you need to cover your expenses? Because if you think you can confidently make that amount with the bounce house business, then I think you're in a great position. Because it's not like you need to cover all the expenses. You just need to cover that what's remaining after what she takes home.
Which is a good point. But before you answer that, Freddie, the question that you answered me when you said you're 40%, is that just your income of your job?
Yes.
So you're way ahead of the game. You're probably 65% with her income. Easily. If you're 40% of your job income just with the rentals, you add that with hers, you're probably at 65% above or higher. So you would not fail. You cannot fail. If you are at that point right now, it's impossible for you to fail unless you give up and you just don't put the effort into the business. But if you leave this job, everything here needs to transfer over to here. And you're putting all of that into this episode over here. That's what you need to do. Your wife is still going to, she's a school teacher. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it is down in Palm Beach area, but up here, you're probably looking 38,000 a year. So
No, she has more. She's
well, that's what I'm saying. Your area is different than ours up here.
Yeah.
Right, does she stop getting paid in the summer, or does it kind of continue? Like,
It
is it a
continues.
salary? Oh, okay. I was gonna say you guys offset each other very well. Actually, I don't know how it is in Florida. I don't know if it's worse in the very, very hot months.
Well, I was involved in the school system for 10 years, and it is during the summer. Our teachers here in our district they don't get paid during the summer. So they get
Yeah, I
paid.
think it's a choice here.
Yeah, they get paid for the time, their time in school, and then the 2.5 months or whatever it is, they don't get paid unless you're doing after school projects, aftercare, et cetera, that kind of stuff. But
Freddie,
Yeah.
sorry, do me a favor. List all your expenses by paycheck between your wife's paycheck, current next paycheck, and the paycheck after that. List all the expenses, just her alone, and then wipe out all the luxuries, and then see what's left over. Like, how much negative are you? And then figure out if your bounce house business will cover that. Because if the answer is yes, then honestly, I think you're ready. That's just my opinion.
And actually, the way he was describing it, Kevin, I don't think he would be in the negative. From the way he was.
Well, I'm talking about like her paycheck alone. I know with the
Oh,
bounce
okay,
house
her
business,
paycheck loan. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
because then
I
like
didn't
if
hear
it's
that.
like he only needs to cover like 1,000, it's like,
Mhm.
can you make 1,000 in your bounce house business in that month? If
So
the answer is
that's actually a good point, Freddie, because God forbid, and I hope it doesn't happen to anybody, but God forbid you break both of your legs and you can't work. You got her income and that's it. So he's got a very good point. Look and see what her income will cover on your monthly bills. And if it's just a shortfall by a small amount, yeah, you're absolutely there, especially
So
when
Fred-
you're by 40% right now.
Yeah, so Freddie, what we ended up doing is we did the math and we figured out that we were in the negative 1,500. So then we allocated, what was it, 70, I forget, enough to cover a year. We called it quote unquote investing in ourselves. So we set aside a certain amount so that it can automatically withdraw from our savings into our checking to cover those 1,500.
Gotcha.
And that's just if I made nothing. You're actually making money.
Oh man.
That's a lot to suck in, isn't it, Freddie?
Yeah, it's a hard jump. I honestly didn't like when I started this. I was like, I'm gonna quit my job in no time, and when I'm ready, I'm just gonna jump. Now that I'm ready to jump, it's like, oh, look at all these sharks.
It's not so much hard. It's the unknown. It's the scary. It's scary. It's unknown. You're leaving a secure. Here's your paycheck. Go the fuck home on Friday and see you Monday. That it's the unknown. It's very scary. I'm one of the worst with making that jump or decision about buying something or doing something, and I always wait and it's gone. That's one of the so the unknown in your mind is what holds anybody back. It holds anybody back. It's the thought of, oh my God, what if the work doesn't come in? What am I going to do? That's in every single person's mind. If it isn't in your mind, then you're already wealthy. You don't need to worry about nothing.
I agree with Mark. I quit my job. Every time I would try to get a job, I'd quit it because I would see what I'd make in a month, in a weekend. I would make that in 2 weeks, and I just couldn't take my regular job seriously. I was just like, screw this. Like, I make this in a weekend. Like, I don't know. I ain't gonna be digging holes in the sun.
Yeah,
So-
like today I made in bookings for June and July, I made my month paycheck.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's why I can't. That's why I can't get a
sucks
job
because-
anymore.
Yeah, I don't take and I do my regular job. I do my job efficiently and quick. So
Yeah, you're what, body mechanic, right, Freddie? I forgot what you do.
I do
You
I work
grease
at a body
yourself
shop.
up. Yeah, and you grease yourself up and dance on the cars, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
But no,
so
dude, seriously,
I do my stuff
you
fast.
probably have way more stuff than me, and I'm doing fine. And you're in Florida. Yeah, 12 enough units is the quit. I quit like at 10, but like I do, like, you'll be fine. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about like how much debt you got, what are you paying, how many car notes you got, how many, and if you have, everybody likes that guaranteed, that guaranteed check, and it's scary. Like Mark said, it's scary. Like, you don't know, dude, my November sucked last year. I didn't make crap in November, but it's all about saving too. Like, if you save your summer stuff pretty well, then you'll be all right. And then you have more freedom. Like, honestly, I can't do a 9 to 5 no more. I don't know if I could listen to anybody anymore. I'd be like, try me, bro.
I can't.
Like,
I couldn't
try
pay
me.
attention to anybody. Like they'd be like,
Yeah.
that's a good idea, Nick. We might think about it and get it in line to see if the programmers can get it in the system. And I'd like, bro, I'd punch them in their face. Like
I get like PTSD from what you say, Nick. With the way they talk to you, I'm like, Jesus.
And the funny thing is, like,
that.
at the time, right? Like, that was all I ever did, right? So like, and I had great success, a lot of respect. Like, I had a great little thing in like this little teeny, like, right? It's a big company, but really it's a tiny company in the grand scheme of things. And so when I left and then started to have success, right? And then fast forward to now where it's like, cool, like my dreams aren't everybody's dreams, but like, cool, I did it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I was there for 16 years. Like, all the good ideas that they didn't listen to, all the shit that
Or they take credit for it. They take credit for your ideas. Oh, I got tired of that.
Yeah,
they'll take your idea and go kiss management's ass. Like, hey, I came up with an idea. Like, bro, don't even.
I told my wife I had a daydream, bro. Like, so we moved to Louisiana in 2010, and and Michelle had to quit her job, like, and she made like 60. She was one of the pace setter salespeople at Nordstrom in California, so she was making like 60K. I mean, working like 32 hours a week or 35 hours a week or something. I mean, right, there's no Nordstrom in Louisiana, so she had to quit her job. And I'm like, dude, if we would have just somehow accidentally stumbled across the bounce house business when we first moved here, when she had all this free time, I'm like, dude, we would have started in 2010. Like, think of what it would be now. Like, right? Like, we'd be 13 years removed from the beginning. I'm just like, dude, it's just crazy. Like, I just can't even fathom going back to work, like, for a place. Oh.
Yeah, just get established and pay your debts. Try to pay off. Like, when I left my job, I cashed in I left the Toyota plant for 8 years. I cashed my 401k out, and I paid off my truck. I paid off a lot of debt, and then I bought my first water slide, and then I bought a bounce, and I milked those two my very first year till I started getting more. And then I felt like I can be on my own that first year with just 3-4 units. And then winter came, and I was like, ugh. So then I got another job, and then I was just like, dude, screw this. Like, I can't listen to anybody anymore. And then you just keep saving money. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody has different goals and different debts and different things. But
and different
in Freddie's situation, I think he could have quit a long time ago. He's been around longer than anything. I think he could have quit easily.
Oh,
Only
when
been
Freddie
around for 3
first
years.
asked us this, last week, I thought he's the only one making money at home. He has nothing in his savings. I get why he'd be scared. But based on what he said, I'm like, geez, I'm with you, Al.
Exactly. Yeah, Freddie. Dude, and then he just got his foam stuff. But Freddie, you got what, like 20 units probably?
30.
30.
Dude, what the hell? Bro, what?
30
Bro,
units, 30
30
units.
units,
of
you-
Well,
home
you
dude,
know, I
he
mean,
has barrels of like money buried in his yard somewhere. He's just playing dumb.
Walter
If
White.
you do,
Yeah,
if you do
Walter
bad,
White style.
just head over to Do the Happy Bounce. She'll take you. Need some extra cash.
um,
On the other side of Florida.
Oh, never mind.
what I was gonna say was, you're talking about him having barrels of money. I mean, people think that I do too, because I've had a painting company for over 30 years, a successful painting company, and I've had a rental company for over 20 years. I'm kind of a different breed than some. I like to work. I mean, I
Same.
like to work 7 days a week. It doesn't matter to me. I like to take my days off when I want to. It doesn't matter to me. I have been on every single drop off for 20 years. I've been hands-on with every
I
single
love that. I want to be like you, Mark. That's the same
And,
way.
and I can honestly say, with maybe less than these fingers right here, I've rolled up every inflatable because I'm an anal son of a bitch. And I like it done a certain way. But I like to
And
be
because, yeah,
hands-on. I
beast.
like to talk to the customers. I've worked
Same.
with kids since I was 16 years old. I've worked with kids. I'm 58 now. I've worked with the school system with kids. I've been chairman of entertainment with our county for over 5 years. I did all the street parties. I mean, I set up bounce houses with Gloria Stefan on our street in 14th Avenue in Vero Beach. I've always enjoyed working, and that's another thing about having a business and being out on your own, is you got to enjoy it. You
I
don't
was
just,
about to ask you that.
you don't just say, okay, I got 10 bouncers, I got 5 slides, I got 5 combos, I'm going to go out and make this money. You got to enjoy it. You want to interact with the people. You want to become friendly with everybody. You don't want to go there and just say, all right, Miss Smith, here's your fucking bounce house. Boom, there you go. Where do you want me to set? Okay, where's the plug-in? All right, see you. Where's my money? Bye. You don't know. You got to be like, hey, who's the birthday person? You got to talk to that person. You got to have that swagger with it when you're having a business. Nobody knows my history as to how I got into working with kids. I think there's only maybe 2 or 3 people in this entire business of these groups, and my friends and all of you people that talk to me that actually know how I got into kids. How I got into kids and working with kids was when I was 12 years old. I ingested an unknown amoeba, and I'm going to try not to cry, that up in my nose, and it traveled through my cerebellum tissue. I lived in Shands Hospital for many months, where I did pass on the table, and Dr. John Varese, a Marine doctor, brought me back to life. There was no one to help kids when I was 13 years old after this transpired, other than family and some church people. And that's when I became, at 16 years old, when I completely recovered from it. And I do have a scar from the back of my head to the top of my skull up here. I started working with my county with kids. Bounce houses weren't even a thing. Slip and slide plastic on the ground with soap and water was the thing. I worked with kids all the way up through high school. I started teaching baseball and basketball. I got into working with the county of entertainment, and then as I got older, I got married, and we rented a bounce house, and it was a piece of shit. It was dirty, it was trashy, and that's how I got started into the bounce house business. But you have to have the passion when you get into it. I had that passion, and just like Nick had his, but it was a different type of passion Nick had. Mine was, this is really freaking gross, dirty, and it took me 3 hours to clean it before I let the kids, my own kids, go in and play with it. I turned around and almost bought the guy out, and that's how I started my business. But I ended up, he wanted $50,000 for a piece of junk, or I'm going to say a business, and I did not buy it. I chose to buy my own and start my own business, and that's how I got into the business right there. And it just grew from there. But you have to have that happy passion. That sounded really gay. I shouldn't have said that. You have to have a happy presentation or a happy feeling that you want to do this. If you get up and you just say to yourself, God damn, I got to pound my freaking anchors in, I got to drag this fucking thing around. But then at the end of the day, you go, oh shit, man, damn, look at all this money that I got in the wallet. No, that's not passion. You might as well get the hell out. You're just going to be another guy that just rents and don't give a shit and don't care for safety or anything else. You've got to have the feeling that you want to be happy, you want to make the people happy, and at the end of the day, you know you did the right thing. So if you want to start the business, you really need to have a bunch of everything that we've talked about today. But I mean, I've tried to say some pretty strong points, and hopefully somebody's listened to them. But I truly believe you have to have it in here, that you want to do this. You have to have a business plan. You have to have money backed up. Everything else is going to fall into place. But if you don't have a business plan, if you don't have an idea of what you want to do and how you want to take it, and if you don't have it up here, you might as well keep your job, because you're not going to make it. You're going to be a weekend warrior. Eventually you will see your stuff for sale on Facebook. And that's the way it is. I just think that that's a good way to go. A good way to start your business is to have those factors. You know, I kind of disagree with Justin about having multiple credit cards. I didn't go that way. I got an 849 credit, but I did it with one credit card, the same credit card I've had for almost 35 years.
You need to lower that 849. You're wasting potential.
Yeah, well,
I was always hovering in like the 843-ish. And now I'm sitting in 815 with an additional like 10 credit cards, but a
Yeah.
ton of points towards free travel. So I'm fine.
Yeah, I understand. You're a finance guy, but I'm proud of it. I'm proud that just me built that credit up, and I can walk into any bank and probably get money. But I'm getting off the point of this whole Zoom. You know, to start your business, I think anybody in here that is thinking of taking that jump should take into effect not only stuff I said, definitely stuff Kevin said. Kevin seems to be an extremely smart person. I don't know him. I don't believe I know him.
Mark, in November, I'm gonna call you while I'm in the Maldives with my credit card points, just so you can see the luxury you can get with it for free. And then in January in Cancun for a week.
Well, that's okay.
I'll be in 5th of July. No, 6th of July. We go to Cancun for 8.
And I'll be right here in my town,
Nice.
happy too.
You
know, but I think everybody here that is in this Zoom, and you know, I was trying to scroll through all these names of people that are up here. There's one guy carrying a surfboard. I think it's Wayne, I think his name was. That was pretty cool. I like that picture. But anybody that's in here that came to this meeting to learn about, or to ask about, or to find out about, when do I take that jump? How do I take that jump? You should really listen to this meeting again. Skip past the first 15 or 20 minutes of the shit that was talked, and then write down. You know, stop it. Write down. Okay, Kevin just said this about finances. Write it down. Mark just said this about business plan. Write it down. You know, somebody else said something about growth. Write it down. And look at all that. that's my opinion of this whole entire meeting here. I think a lot of good things have been said through a very wide scope of conversation. Where I wish it was kind of more compacted in to where you would actually learn better, or at least I would have. That's just me. So I kind of hope somebody would take some things that I said to heart, and because it works. There's one thing that I don't do. I don't lie. I have no reason to lie to any of you. None of you have anything I need, and I don't think I have anything none of you need. So why should I even consider lying or faking things to you guys? I can tell you stuff that I know that's real. I can tell you stuff that I know that works. You can use it. You can take that information as advantage. I'm sure Kevin is the same way. He sounds like a very smart person. I think you would want to ask him any financial questions. He seems like probably more smart financial than me. Finances wasn't my thing, business was in school. So, I think that's what everybody here should do. If you're thinking of taking that leap, read this or watch this Zoom video after it gets posted again, where you can stop it and you can write notes and you can back it up and you can listen and you can write notes. That would be my suggestion from tonight.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to take, a call or 2 or 3 or however many, if there's that many people that are serious about leaving their job, you know what I mean? Because I know how scary it is. I'm for sure an outlier. Like I don't think you should do what I did. I do not think anybody should do what I did. But I wanted to tell the story to kind of let you know, like it does work out as long as as long as you believe in yourself as a business owner and a business operator to make wise decisions and do the right thing. You know what I mean? So, but I'm super glad that Mark came on and played the devil's advocate part, because that's totally, like, I totally thought everybody was gonna hate me for my rant in the beginning, and then everybody was quiet. I'm like, damn it! I wanted to get some conversation going. I wanted to get this going.
Well, I just want to throw my 2 cents in tonight about what I felt and believed. My added stuff about how I became into this business was kind of following up how you did, Nick, except mine was 100% different than yours. I had no intuition to start a bounce house business. My intuition came from starting working with kids from my experience at 12 years old. And that grew the passion to where we're at now, which goes back to that word. You have to want to have that passion to work with kids. I mean, if you're going to work in this business, you want to work with kids. I mean, point blank, that's the way it is. You're not going to become an ice cream salesman if you sell steaks. Or, so you have to have the passion to be a part of this industry in some way or another, and not just the fact I'm making money. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, you may be a successful business, but you're probably just going to work for your business, period. So anyway, all right, I'm done ranting because I've already went through like 5 beers, so I got to be kind of careful.
Nonsense, not on a Wednesday night. All right, there was this is a long time ago, but I thought it was a good question, and I've been trying to find it. It was something about taxes. I just wanted to give credit to the person that asked it, but I believe the question was, what should we be keeping track of on our taxes for taxes? The answer to your question is everything, like literally everything, every mile.
And keep your receipts.
So my new CPA was like, I want none. I have QuickBooks, right? So it all goes to QuickBooks. I was like, you don't want receipts? No. He's like,
I don't get why he says that.
yeah. I was shocked.
Because you need receipts.
Here we go. It's Dave. Dave said, what should we be keeping track of for taxes? Yeah. So literally every dollar that comes in or out of the bank account, and every mile the truck drives. Right? I think, right, which is a lot. That's a lot, but that's just 2 things. But I think it's about right. But basically what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have, to lower your tax liability, you want to make sure you have maximum amount of things you could write off. Okay. So so what comes out of the bank account is paying an employee. You need to keep track of that. Okay. Go watch the How Do I Pay My Employees episode for that whole thing. But coming into the account, right? Every charge, every event that you do, whatever, every mile that the truck drives. If you want my shady professional advice, literally just reset the odometer on January 1st and report what's on January 31st. But what you should do is track it for when you're doing deliveries. And yeah, I think that's the answer.
And depending on your state, in Florida, you need to almost figure 26.75% of every dollar covers income tax and Social Security. So that's a good point to think to yourself, okay, so I'm making $1 and 27 cents of that dollar is gone for taxes and towards Social Security. That's where you start thinking, okay, you need to calculate write-offs. And what you were saying, Nick, the gas, the mileage, everything. So, okay, I got to go Home Depot to get Simple Green for cleaning the inflatables. Boom, that entire trip to Home Depot is a write-off. Okay, I need to get lunch while I'm out because it's lunchtime. Okay, you got lunch, that can be a write-off too because you were going to get materials for the job. You know, it's a very gray line in certain states. I've understood this from other people. You can't do all that stuff. I
Well,
don't
food's
know
back
why
to
it's different.
50% now.
What's that?
I think food's back to 50% now.
Yeah, so
Pretty much if you own a business, anytime you go out to eat with your spouse, just talk about bounce houses for a second and you're good.
yeah, or if you have a flyer or you want to talk about something, you could take a picture of you and her talking about something you guys just developed for the business, that you got evidence right there. That's just as good as a receipt, believe it or not. But I really don't know the percentage in other states. I can't imagine it would be much different than in every state for income tax. Is income tax different in every state, Kevin? Do you know, Kevin?
I'm not sure. I'm not a tax accountant. I just know certain rules.
Yeah, I know
I
like
don't
North
remember.
Carolina and that they have state tax and then they have income tax on top of it. Florida doesn't have that. They just have income tax, Social Security tax, and payroll tax. But I've always ventured above 26.75. I figured 32 to 33% of every dollar before I even consider the write-off stuff. That way, at least my taxes part is covered. But anything you do considering your business can be a write-off. Absolutely anything. If you
Your
well,
Wi-Fi
this
at
is
your house,
it's kind of shady, but if you got to throw away equipment or broken motors or extension cords or whatever to the dumps, it's kind of shady saying that's a write-off back and forth. But you know, if you keep track of all that and at the end of the year your accountant says, hey, you know, I kind of need another $400 worth of write-offs, boom, you got a shoebox with these receipts. You could give it to her. And you know, what I've learned is like Freddie, you're pencil and paper. I've been pencil and paper my whole life. Even though I got ERS and they automate everything, everything gets written down. The best thing to do is, hey, there's a receipt to Home Depot and to Chick-fil-A. Boom, business, Moon Man. Just write Moon Man on it or whatever your company name is. East Inflatables. Write it on it. Boom, stick it in a box. So you have all those receipts. I mean, that's the way I keep track of it, old school way.
and you can write off the Wi-Fi in your house if you work out of your house. You can write off the room that you work out of.
What are we having right now? What is this called right now?
A write-off. This is called
Booze and Biz.
a write-off.
That case of beer right there. It was a business meeting.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't think you can write off alcohol.
Shit.
All you
Yeah.
alcoholics.
But I can write
That's
off
why-
the
that's why my
Sam's Club.
pack-
I can write off the Sam's Club receipt.
That's why the 12 pack of Pepsis I'm doing, writing it off.
Right off the Pepsi, baby.
One.
All right. I want to jump to, this is more of a comment than a question, but I think it's poignant and I want to hit on it. So Brian Streeter said, one of the things I like most about the industry is how passionate you all are and how you seem to genuinely enjoy it. It's been quite the learning curve for me coming from the garage door industry, but I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed learning the website, Google Ads, Inflatable Office, talking with the manufacturers, etc. And I haven't even set up my first rental yet. So that's something that is near and dear to my heart. And I actually got into a conversation with somebody about the other day. By no stretch of the imagination am I trying to do anything audacious with what I'm about to say. But when I came into the industry in 2019, I was like 98% self-taught, but that's because there really was no content out there on the internet at all. The one thing I ever remember learning from a video was a magic jump video of how to set your inflatable up on the blower and then tip it into the bed of the truck. The only problem was I didn't have a pickup truck at the time. So as I started making videos, I really wanted to change that. And so I had no idea what the hell my videos were going to do. But in all of the YouTube videos I put out, I put in there, you can DM me any of your questions and I answer every single question. And I still do to this day. And then as my presence grew, you know what I mean? I wanted to kind of pay that all forward and do as much as I could to try and make the information out there good from the videos that I put out or putting, you know, things like this on, to when I go to Facebook and comment on somebody's question on a Facebook group, it's more than 2 words of an answer. I try to go out of my way when I can, as much as I can, to elaborate and make a good comment that answers their question that they can actually take action on. And so since I've started doing that, it's taken a long time now. It's taken a number of years, but in my opinion, right, and I only interact really in my own Facebook group now. So like this is kind of a feedback loop, right? Probably a positive feedback loop. But in my opinion, I've seen it go from snarky, negative, good old boy type of responses to lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of good responses, mixed in, of course, with the normal satire, if you will. But it just comes from a place of love. Like I really do actually love this industry. And then as I've tried to put that positivity out there, I think the other people that love this industry have had a place that they could feel comfortable coming forward and doing it that way too. You know what I mean? So it's something that I've really enjoyed being around the positivity of the last 6 months, a year, 6 months to a year. It's been a lot of fun for me. I'm gonna go check Facebook.
You know, I just learned something. This is kind of dumb. Don't ask me why. But you know, in the chat thing, I never figured out how come like the chat never moved up. And then I see down at the bottom, it says, oh, 20 new messages. And you click on it and everybody's chat is there. So I'm trying to read people's chats and I'm not seeing none. Like forever, I'm wondering how come these chats is not moving. But if you click the little red line at the bottom where it says new messages, like a dumbass, it goes up.
What, you're talking on Zoom?
I wasn't ignoring you guys that wrote stuff. I just responded to you. But,
Yeah, he's definitely a pen and paper kind of guy.
dude, that's like, damn. That might be number 5. That could be number 5. That might be that problem. We'll blame it on that.
Yeah, the 5th beer. Yeah, this show is a write-off. I literally buy. I mean, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. My new CPA said don't save receipts. So I'd stop at the Piggly Wiggly and buy a case of beer on the jump off.
Clearly the reason why you called it that. Booze and Biz.
Booze and Biz.
You
What's
just wanted to
funny
save
is-
money on alcohol.
right? No, what's funny is when I was trying to name the show, is like the first thing that came to my head, right? Which the first idea is almost always like I go make like today I made a thumbnail for my new YouTube video. I made like 4 different ones, and I took like 6 different pictures to try and get the right picture. And I took the first picture and the first thumbnail that I made. Like it's just the first thing I always do is almost always the one I go with. And so Booze and Biz was like the first one I threw out. Oh, it's at my office now. I have a whole list. I fill up an entire sheet of paper with names of the show, potential names of the show. And the top one is Booze and Biz, and then there's a whole bunch of other funny ones. And it's stuff. But I was always uncomfortable with it because I'm like, dude, does it make us all like alcoholics? Like it's called Booze and Biz. Like it's not called, business, and I don't know.
I'm not really a drinker, but I think the name's awesome, in my opinion.
I guess it's worked out. I made a logo today too. Like I was so strapped for time today and wanted to make a promo, like a little, like Facebook promo thing. And I made like a little logo and it came out really good. I got to tweak it a whole bunch, but I was like, wow, that came out really fucking good. And I'm pretty excited. I'm excited you guys all show up. Like real talk. Like super awesome. Like super fucking so cool, so humbled, like so I don't know how else to like say it. I'm just so stoked on how everything has went. I'm trying to think of I can't think if there was any other. The chat was very busy tonight. But can't think of any other questions we didn't hit on. There's lots of stuff I think I could bring up, but I'm just rehashing old stuff. Does anybody else?
I will say this: when leaving your job for doing this full time, there's a lot of perks in it too. I mean, you get a lot of freedom. I've been to every field trip for my son this year. It is amazing. I've been to every field trip. I went to the zoo last Friday. Like my old job, you had to put in PTO, bro. You have to ask to go to the zoo with your kid when you work somewhere else. You have to think about that. Like, come on.
See, that's where I'm to the point with my job is I told my boss that I'm no longer asking for permission to take off.
Exactly.
What I put it in is I'm telling you I'm not going to be here, so figure it out.
You're already there, Freddie. You just gotta.
He just wants to get fired,
bro.
He's just trying to get
no,
fired.
dude. It's even better. Like it's even better. Like when you don't even take your bosses serious. Like you're just like, bro, I make what you make. And like you start like thinking like that. You're like, bro, who are you? Like, get away from me.
For me it was, so I put in my notice. I don't remember the day I put in my notice. This is somebody like early-ish August. But I put in a 1 month notice. That was like what was customary for the position that I was in. And so I put in a 1 month notice, and the notice ended on September 10th. Like September 10th was my last day. And then I realized by accident that was my first day too. Like it was not planned. But then from that point, like it was kind of conscious and kind of subconscious. But like when I put in my notice, I wanted to do right by Journeys because Journeys had taught me so much and invested so much in me. I like went so hard in those last 4 weeks. It was fucking insane. You know what I mean? Both from a moral standpoint, but also like I wanted to leave something behind that I could be proud of. Not that it mattered. Like now, like I look back, like it doesn't fucking matter. But I do take solace in the fact that like I went harder in the last 4 months. Like I worked my balls off to the last day And September 10th was like, I think a Monday. So like September 8th, that Friday technically was my last day. I mean, dude, I grinded so hard. And my boss told me, he worked for the company for, I think 21 years, if I remember right. He said, dude, I've seen so many people quit. I've never witnessed that ever. I'm like, I didn't have anything to say, other than thank you. He's like, what you did is unreal. I was like, dude, that's like, I wanted to pay it forward. Like, I'm not just quitting my job to go do this goofy entrepreneur or try this on entrepreneurial thing. Like I'm serious about all the shit that I do. You know what I mean? Like I'm serious about it all. And it all means a lot to me.
Instead of burning down bridges, you built the Golden Bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, I burned every bridge.
at,
I burned every
my,
single bridge.
at my job, when I put in my 2 weeks, I didn't fully quit until pretty much like 6 or 7 months later. Cause I was like, all right, I'll go part-time. Bunch of people are pregnant. Sure, I'll stay a little longer to kind of cover them while part-time. But then it got to the point where it's like, I can't be dividing my attention even with the part-time, that I'm like, no, this day I'm done. It's over. I don't care if you say I can work like 1 day a week. It's just, I gotta like have a clean slate. Accounting out of my head.
Yeah. But dude, as soon as I quit though, like, so the way my schedule would work back when I worked for Journeys, I'd wake up at 5 every day. I kind of had like my morning routine, but it worked, right? I was checking numbers from the night before. I was checking emails, and then I would write an email to the district, like a motivational email to the district, and then I'd leave. So I'd be at the door like 6:30ish, 7ish. I wouldn't get back home till about 7ish every single day. I mean, so I'm gone 12 hours a day, plus worked at least 60 minutes before I left. And to say that I was done working when I got home at 7 would be a joke. You know what I mean? So then I quit. So then to Al's point, like all of a sudden I was like, hey, our son was in kindergarten when I quit. I was like, hey, I'm gonna take Boston to the bus stop tomorrow. My wife's like, oh shit, I can sleep in, or oh shit, I can go to the gym earlier. Like, yeah, that's great. So I show up to the bus stop, the only dude, right? It's all women and me, you know what I mean? And then I've taken him to the bus stop every single day. I don't pick him up from the bus stop anymore because he's like, Dad, you don't gotta come to that. We just walk home. You don't gotta come to the nighttime bus stop or the afternoon bus stop. But now I also take my little girl to the bus stop every morning and pick her up. She's in pre-K, but goes to the same elementary school. So like, or sorry, different elementary school than him, but an elementary school. So I have the same flow with her. So like, I quit the job and was able to do the bus stop thing, and then I still do it every morning. Like I'd make time every single morning to walk him to the bus stop at 7, her to the bus stop at 8, and then I get her off the bus at 4:30. He gets off the bus at 4, but I get her off the bus at 4:30, and I'm just like, it's just crazy to me how, I mean, he was only in kindergarten, like, you know what I mean, for like 4 months, 3 months before I quit. But I'm just like, to think that I would have to forego this entire, like, both ends of my day as a bus stop with the kids, and they mean so much to me. I'd have to forego that if I still worked there. It's just wild to me how accepting I was of those hours, like of that workload. Like it just was what it was. Like there was just no way around it. And then I quit, and I got to do whatever I want. Yeah, more time with the kids is awesome. It kind of gets to a point, like it depends. This probably depends on your goals. You know what I mean? Like mine are never ending. Like mine are unachievable because they just keep moving, which is stupid. It's fucking stupid. Don't do that. But I've
That's not
gotten
stupid.
now to the point where I'm like, I
That's
told my
not
wife, I'm
stupid.
like, I'm ready for you to do some bus stop shit because like now I want to go back into grind mode. I want to go back into fucking 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. mode.
No, that's not stupid at all. It's not stupid.
I
I'll
love
tell
it.
you, Al said something with me being part of the schools. I was FBI certified And I went on every single field trip that the school went on to, the charter school went on, with my kids and other kids. I chaperoned. They would give me the worst. Like, we took the 8th grade to DC. About 4 hours into the trip, all of a sudden I was handed like 5 other kids to watch, because they knew that if, okay, you're going to jump out of line, your ass is mine. I mean, I was daddy to all of them. And what you were saying about, taking your kids to the bus stop, and that, it may be a little bit of a pain in the ass sometimes, but let me tell you something. Those
You don't
are
get it back.
memories. Those are memories that you will keep
Exactly.
the rest of your life. I've had some of the funnest times on these field trips. When my son graduated, my second son, my youngest son, graduated 8th grade into the charter high school, they called me up on the stage and gave me an award for not only being a representative on the Board of Education, but I volunteered 300 hours a year with the school system. And when I walked up on that stage, there was 200 kids that was calling my name, because I was there for them and for my kids. It's something that any one of us doing this business, we need to keep, and you need to be there. That you got the time, you can say, you know what, fuck this, I'm not cleaning that slide today. I'm going to Busch Gardens with little Johnny, or whatever your kid's name is. There's always that opportunity. It's something you guys don't want to miss. The plaque is sitting on my desk over here. And that was probably one of the proudest moments I've ever had. To me, it was nothing. To me, it was just going with my kids and taking care of other kids and having fun. That was what, but to the school and to parents, that was like, wow, this guy stepped up and is helping us. So all of us, if you got an opportunity to do something with your kids, you do it, because there isn't a second chance for that one. There's definitely not a second chance. Once they're 18, there's always second chances with your kids at that point. But up until they're out of school, you don't get a second chance for them memories. So with Al, I'm 100% with Al on that one. I think
I used to work for a manufacturer at Toyota. We used to build the Tundras and Tacomas, and I was there 8 years. I started there when I was like 20, 21. And of course, it's easy when your kids are small, they're still babies. And there, I was 12-hour days, 6 days a week, rotating shift. Rotating shift every 2 weeks. You work days, every 2 weeks you go to graveyard, every 2 weeks, and it was switch. And production Saturday every other Saturday. So of course, I missed a lot of birthdays. I missed a lot of stuff. And then I used to love coaching my kids, like baseball team and soccer team. I couldn't be a coach because I was always 2 weeks days, or I was always 2 nights, and I would have to go in the PMs. I missed a lot of stuff. And it was what hit me was my son was already like 7 at the time, and I was gonna go into work at night, and I was gonna go to I was gonna leave, and my son's like, "Hey, Dad, you gonna go to the game today?" And he tells me, and yeah, he asked me that, and I tell him, "No, son, like I gotta go to work." And he says, "Man, Dad, you're always working, or you're gonna miss this game again." That at that moment, I was like, I gotta get out of here, because sometimes we chase money so much and we forget of the little things that happen at home. But at that point, that's when I like, all right, I'm done with this job. Cash out my 401k. Let's try to figure something else. And that's when I got into my bounces and stuff like that. That was one of the greatest decisions ever. And I love kids. I like Mark says, you gotta have fun with it. Like, I just booked today a bubble party at a festival for 4 hours for $700. I'm getting paid to blow freaking bubbles with little kids. Like, how cool is that? Like, you can't beat that. And it's cool because I just started doing bubble parties, and like, and believe it or not, like, I'll see some customers at like the Walmart or something, and they'd be like, "Oh, look, it's the bounce house guy," or "Oh, look, it's the bubble man," or something like that. That's pretty cool. And like Mark says, you gotta have fun with it, but you don't get that stuff back, man. Like I miss like so many baseball games and so many little things. Now I take my son to all of his boxing. I watched every single basketball game this year. I've been on my son, all of my son's every doctor appointment, every everything I've been on. And it's cool. I love it. I love it. Now they're getting older, and but you kind of miss like a little that from that 2 to 6 year old phase, man. That's a different, your kids evolve, man. It's a different era. And I missed a lot of that first era, that toddler era, and this new era of the teenagers thinking they know everything era. That I'm entering that era. My preteen, my oldest is 11, and he thinks he knows everything already.
That's
But
yeah, the first
man.
yeah, our firstborn, yeah, I missed all that stuff. Like I
It
have
sucks. You don't get it back.
no memories. Like I have no memories other than
Same.
texts. My wife would like pictures, you know what I mean? My wife would send
Pictures. Exactly. Pictures.
and we would tell, like I would tell myself, right? And like everybody I worked with we'd all tell ourselves like, oh, we're grinding, you know what I mean, for the fam, and like they appreciate how hard we work and da 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 da. And then I quit my job when my daughter was 1 and my son was 5. And real quick I realized like, oh no, they don't care how hard we work. They give no rip, right? But then the jump off scales, and at some point in time in your business, you're doing everything yourself. You know what I mean? Like either it took off so quick and you haven't hired yet, or something's happening, right? And so I'm doing everything myself. And like how easy it was for me to flip back into like, oh, I'm building this for my kids, whatever, was crazy. And so then I got to where I am now, right? To where I'm really doing a good job running the business. And then I have employees that are helping me out. I had a conversation with my son, he's now 9. And I said, hey bro, I just want to know, like, it's hard for you to answer this question because you're like still a kid. Like, what do you think you want to do when you get older? Like, he's like, yeah, man, I don't really know. I'm like, well, you used to want to have the jump off. You still want to do that? He's like, no, I don't want the jump off. Why would I want the jump off? That's your thing, Dad, not mine. And I'm like, dude, we can trick ourselves so easily to saying that we're building it for the kids, and like, bro, they don't want the business. They just want you to be around. Like, that's what they want. They don't want, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, there is probably some freak 9-year-old out there that wants to roll bounce houses and take over the shit, right? That probably exists, but like 99% of the kids just, dude, they want you around when you need to be
They
around.
just want you to play video games with them, man. Like my son,
Yes.
we played Fortnite the other day. Like I was getting killed, but I was like, this is cool.
Yeah,
This is cool.
we used to play Boston.
I'm like, play me Mortal Kombat 2, bro, and then come talk to me. Let's play some real games.
Right.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, we used to play.
you're right on that one, because my kids, they were playing, I think it was Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Oh
yeah.
They'd get me in there to play, and I'm like, I'm an old guy. I'm like walking around the corner, and they're coming up behind me, stabbing me in the back of my neck, and then it turned into something that I think I'm gonna remember this forever. When The Walking Dead came out,
Great show.
I would sit in that room with a bucket with ice and beer, and I would watch that show with my kids every single freaking week. At first I thought, man, this is freaking stupid. This is just ridiculous.
It's good though.
And then the show went on, and my kids got older. They got into high school, and then they got into other shit, and now all of a sudden I'm watching it by myself. I'm watching all the way up to the end when the last season was out. I'm like sitting here by myself. I'm like, well, where the hell are the kids at? But the point what you were saying is, that time with them. It's, even though we have our own business and all, you have to be able to do that. And I was reading these comments about over here on the side. I figured out how to make a move. You know, people talking about missing birthdays and missing holidays and let me tell you, I've missed a ton of birthdays and events with families, and because I've been on every single event, every single setup. I've been on every single one for 21 seasons, and I've missed a ton of stuff. You know, that's just my nature. That's the way I've built myself to work. And there's so much stuff that could be avoided to be missed with the kids. That's the biggest thing you need to keep. You don't want to miss them, because you are not going to get a second chance. And so to be able to go to the games and to do the things that I did, I'll never forget that. You know, so that's one thing everybody needs to set to the side, how to figure out how to do it and make it happen.
One of my favorite moments every day, and that I would not have had the luxury of doing if I was still working, is picking up my 3-year-old from pre-K. The way she runs with the biggest smile, like daddy racing. It's like such a great feeling that I'm like, I would not have that if it wasn't for the fact.
That's the greatest feeling in the world.
Bro,
Picking
my
up your
little girl
kids and taking them to
gets
school.
off the bus like that. Like she still gets off the bus. Like so she's the youngest. So she's in pre-K but goes to the elementary school, right? So her two best friends are in first grade. So like they come off the bus like, and then Brody comes off the bus, little pre-K, like, bro, and just tears around the corner. Every single day. I'm just like, yeah, Michelle's like, dude, why do you like to go to bus so much? I'm like, are you joking? Like, that is my drug of choice, dude. Going to watch that. It's incredible.
Right now, my son's in basketball, and he's been getting back into sports because COVID, we didn't really put him in sports. And I mean, nobody had their people in sports down here. And now he's kind of growing. He's 11. I'm not a tall guy. I'm a short guy. And dude, we're playing basketball, one-on-one basketball with your son, blocking the shit out of his ball. That's the greatest thing in the world. I love that shit.
You bully.
Dude, I let him win. I let him win at the end, but
Don't
God,
let them win.
Swap that to hell. Oh, it's the greatest. It's fun.
Yeah, my dad used to love doing that.
I still watch SpongeBob with my kids, man. It's fun. Yeah.
We had
Just quit your job. Quit your job, Freddie.
Yeah, my son, I coached my son's soccer team the last year I worked for Journeys, and it was so fucking hard. Like, but they were like little, like, so it didn't matter, right? And I still play soccer. Like, soccer is like life, right? And so then I coached him last season and this season, and then my parents live right around the corner from me, so my dad was the assistant coach. Man, we had so much freaking fun. And my son's pretty good at soccer, but like, right, he's not the best on the team. But I asked him, I said, listen, bro, like, because right now we play rec. I said, listen, bro, because he was complaining about one of the kids on the team that like doesn't play very hard and can't, right, isn't very good or whatever. And I put him back in the game, and then we lost or something. I'm like, bro, it's rec. I got to play everybody. If you want to be real and play academy, he's like, well, will you coach me for academy? I don't know, bro. That's a lot to commit to. You know what I mean? 2 practices, 2 games a week. It's 4 freaking days a week. You know what I mean? I got to know if you're into it. He's like, if you coach me, I'll be into it. You know what I mean? I'm like, thinking through it, I'm like, okay, I can totally make this happen, right? Plus, coaching soccer is like, oh my God, dude, like the smell of the grass, like it's like my everything. And so like we're still talking about it. We haven't really made our decision. Him and I are still talking about it, but I'm just like, it's fucking badass that I could go commit to 4 days a week to coach an academy team, you know what I mean, that travels for games or whatever. Like, I could totally do it if it's the move we want to do, versus if I still was an employee. No shot. No shot. No shot.
See, those are memories that you have right there when you do it with your kids. Little basketball team. So If you ever can do it, you need to do it. There you go.
You should have just called this convince Freddie to quit his job. Booze and Biz edition.
Right? Totally should have. Totally should have. That's
Yeah,
funny.
Freddie's all screwed up now. He don't know what he wants to do now after all this stuff.
You don't even know, man.
Too many kids to worry about.
I'm sitting in my couch right now with like the most mixed feelings. Like I want to go wake up my wife and just be like, I'm not going to work tomorrow anymore.
Go in your kids' bedrooms and just stare at them.
Blame it on Nick.
Yeah, dude, it's fun. Like you guys didn't see it because of the computers. Like this isn't my office anymore, so like usually the computer sees the door, but it doesn't anymore. And our little girl, she's about to be 5, but she just came in here. I muted the thing, but she came in here, and she's somehow still awake. I don't know. She's in her room, but she came in here with her remote. And she said, "Dad, I want to wake up. I want to be with you." What did she just say? In the night, something about in the night when it's still dark. When you read your book, I want to be with you when you read your book. Like, what are you talking about? Like tomorrow morning? No, Dad, it's still today. It's still today because it's still dark outside. And she's talking about tomorrow morning because I wake up early before the sun comes up, and she wants me to wake her up with her.
All right, well, I'm gonna call it a night. I got some things to do and I got 5 dogs to take out. So you guys have a good night. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks.
Good night, Mark.
I got it. Next week on the show, I'm going to say, put the pirate flag in the comments if you quit your job.
Man, it's a crazy topic for sure.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it kind of took a second to get it. It didn't take a second. It took Mark to get it where I wanted it to go, because I was hoping he'd be on and then he would pipe up quick, because I knew he's always got the kind of the opposite take as me, but like not in a contentious way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I wanted my little rant at the beginning to be, kind of motivational or inspirational, but to trigger some people to kind of get what we just talked about going, and then everybody was kind of quiet. But that's happened to me my whole life. Every meeting I ever give, every time I have a little speech, it's always quiet. So
And another thing too, like, I know everyone gets scared to leave their job and stuff like that. And really, you don't leave your job because you're leaving it for your inflatable company. So everything you do, like your 8 to 5, do it as your inflatable company. Like all that time, look at your website. Look at, like when I get bored and the kids are at school, I go to nice neighborhoods and I just pass out cards. Like you're constantly working on your stuff. Like, I mean, and if worst comes to worst, just DoorDash, or Uber Eats. Like if you really need money, but a lot of the time making that extra content, those nice photos, you can start learning how to do some TikTok stuff. Like you trust me, you'll stay busy with a lot of things. Like I still got to plan my Easter route. I haven't even done that. It's just crazy. Yeah, I'm not even excited right now. And it's supposed to rain.
It's supposed to rain everywhere, bro.
It's supposed to rain tomorrow, Friday, and I'm trying to do deliveries Friday night because there's people that are celebrating Easter on Saturday, which is weird. I don't know.
That's weird.
But yeah, it's kind of like Christmas Eve. People are they want to party the Saturday before.
It's gonna be it's gonna be 89 sunny in Florida.
Yeah, bro. That's our normal Easter. This year's Easter sucks. Last year on Easter we did 11,500.
Damn.
And I don't even know. We're halfway there. We're a little over halfway there, but we're gonna get fucking smoked.
Yeah.
Easter versus Easter, we're gonna get smoked.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
bro.
gonna rain.
Weather blows. I'm just like,
Weather sucks, right? That
My
happened to me on spring break. It rained on the last spring break weekend. Killed me in profits. Killed me.
yeah,
But
this is the first holiday that I can even think of where this has happened. Like major, right? Easter major,
4th
Mother's
of July,
Day minor. Yeah, 4th of July major,
Labor
holiday
Day,
major, or Labor Day.
Memorial Day, Labor. Yeah,
Yeah, our Labor
our
Day.
Labor Day is pretty good. Memorial Day is good too.
But yeah, this is the first time I remember like some shit like we like our no, we get it earlier, so we get it Friday. Like our Friday is like we got like
Crazy, right?
over an inch of rain, and it's like 71 degrees, and then Saturday is like high chance of rain, not a ton of rain, but yeah, still it's like 72. I'm like, bro, it was 88 today. What's happening?
So you still send them out even though it's gonna rain if the customer wants it, or what's your policy, Nick?
Say that again.
You still send out the units even though it's gonna rain?
Oh
Or
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah, you don't care.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
getting you. Okay, what's your policy on like say hey? Or I mean, you just give them a rain check if they want it.
Yeah,
No refund.
so we do basically they do a $50 deposit, and then if it's
I do that too.
but if it's gonna be like gnarly, like brutal rain, like we just refund the people's money. Like if they ask, right? We don't like start Venmoing people, but if they're like, hey, we're just gonna cancel, I just be like, yep, no worries. I always tell people we're not gonna tell you, or I tell people we're not gonna hold you hostage for $50. Like just take your $50 back, and then like your next party, just book with us, whatever. We kind of sell them a little bit.
I'm the same way. Same thing. I know there's people who hold them hostage for $50, and I charge $50 deposit too. I think that's a great deposit amount. I know some people do, by percentage, like no, just $50. It's like I think that's a great point to where it won't make people cancel on you last minute. But
Never done.
yeah, if it's gonna rain, like, I just want like here's your money back. Like I don't like fighting with my people. I really don't. They're gonna come back to you. If you want to fight with them, go ahead and fight with them. Or
It's so
I would like to
funny.
mess with
I
my-
try to reschedule. I really try to reschedule, but if they want it,
Yeah, right.
get it.
And I
I'm
message
not-
them too. I'm like, look, I'll make you a promise. Okay, I'll give you your $50 back as long as you tell everybody how cool we are, right? And they're like, LOL, for sure, right? And then we should refund their freaking $50, right? And do they
So-
book again? Like, I don't track that. I have no idea, but it's like, dude, it's way better look. Like, and just then you can just go to bed at night. You don't have to worry and like think you're some
Yeah.
guy. That's my favorite is the people in the Facebook groups like, fuck that. They paid the $50. That's
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that,
and every
like,
time I run into those posts, I keep
cutthroat.
telling people like think about what you're doing. Who
Right.
cares what the reason is? You're gonna keep $100, $50, whatever your deposit is, from someone that's about to trash talk the crap out of you.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And-
They're
and
never gonna
like,
go back.
the
You're losing
rules
$50
of it.
for future parties. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah,
you wanna be known as a dick, then go ahead, be known as a dick. But
yeah, you're
Yeah.
not gonna get rich over that deposit, and you're not
Exactly.
gonna go poor on that deposit.
exactly.
It's not, yeah, it's not
Exactly.
building, it actually is building your brand. It's building your brand into being evil, right? And then I can take or leave. I would not notice if you took $50 out of my account right now. I would not notice. Like $50? Like,
Yeah.
what's that?
Here's a good one. Here's a good one. What about people that don't reschedule? Like if they say, yeah, I'll reschedule, I'll hit you up. How long do you
They
give
never
them?
do. I would say 6
I did have
months.
some of those for the big ass hurricane we had, Ida. We had a pretty good book of business that weekend. The hurricane didn't hit until Monday, so we still sent I think 5 units, but had a bunch cancel. And I told them all like 365 days, reschedule, whatever. This was kind of a while ago to where I was kind of like I was headstrong on that, right? I didn't refund anybody's money, but I was like very nice, like 365 days. And then I had somebody like maybe 4 weeks ago they're like, yeah, we have a hurricane thing. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? We haven't had hurricanes since Ida. I went and looked them up. Sure shit, that $50 since Ida. And I was like, oh my God, that's from Ida. But yeah, we're good. We'll put it, like, just move it over. But then I did have some people that never rescheduled from that. And that's kind of where it came from. I'm like, I just feel so shitty that I did that, dude. Like, a giant hurricane is coming that wiped out major parts of southern Louisiana. And like, I kept your deposit to reschedule within a year. Just like, ugh, just feels gross that I did that.
So I have 2 customers, both on 4th of July last year, paid in full, because on 4th of July, I try to get people to pay in full. And they both canceled on me because of COVID reasons. And I'm like, all right, fine, 4th of July, whatever. I reached out to them about a month later, and I was like, hey, just so you know, I have you up for a year, whatever. Their year's about to be over 4th of July again. And now I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, do I honor that 4th of July for 4th of July again? And I don't like, it sucks because 4th of July, I increased my prices.
I do 6 months. I only do 6 months. A lot of the time when they're gonna reschedule, they'll reschedule within the month if they really want to reschedule. If not, they're never really gonna ask to reschedule. But I do 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, bro, there's no wrong answer. Like, it just comes down to like what you want to do. Like, I'm obsessed with business, but like, I side with humans way more than I ever side with business, right? Like, I'm not some hardcore, hard-nosed businessman that's all about the profit margins and whatever. Like, I side with the people. But like, I really think we did have a cancellation on 4th of July that pissed me off last year. Not pissed me off, but just was like annoying. And I kept their $50, right? Which I should have. I don't know. I don't remember the whole details of that. But yeah, you just gotta, bro, just do whatever helps you sleep at night. Like, that's the thing. Okay, did get a good question here from Goliath Inflatables, which, by the way, kind of love the name Goliath. If you have the opportunity to have Goliath, like the cartoon character. I wish
I'm still thinking about Zeus. I
Still
really wished
thinking
he
about
had Zeus.
Oh, real talk. But anyway,
Goliath from the Bible?
Goliath. Yeah, I don't know how you do Goliath and not make it evil. Not sure. I'm not a church guy.
Or X-Men.
But like, you have the opportunity though to have like a big Cyclops or something. That's how I picture Goliath. But question was though, got a booking for water combo, but they said it's well water, which is salt water. Okay, that the salt water part is weird to me. We have well water here. But anyway, is that bad for the bounce houses? Where I live, well water is not salty, but it's generally speaking fine. It's generally speaking fine, totally okay. We do a lot of well water rentals and have no issues. I've had issues off the top of my head. I can remember 2 times where it kind of puts like an orange film, like a rust type stain on the slide. One of the times it happened, it was a really old easy inflatables unit that I bought used. So like, it was kind of like that older matte vinyl, and then it stained coming down the slide. It stained the stitching, and then something to do with the pool. It was a long time ago. The other time was a brand new Big Kahuna unit, like, you know what I mean, 2-month-old Big Kahuna XL unit. Had orange shit all over it, but it came off very, very, very easily with Magic Eraser, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. So I was stained forever, but like super old, bought it used, like, take it for what it's worth. The other one, totally fine. So generally speaking, yeah, you're totally fine. I wouldn't worry about it. And salt water, that's weird. That's salt water. I don't know what to make of that part.
I wonder if they're talking about salt water because you have to have a salt purifier and you have to add salt to the system. Maybe that's what they're talking about. I don't know. I don't know who has water in their house.
Yeah, like when I lived in Salt Lake, you would have hard water and soft water, and the soft water went through a salt thingy. So like your hot water that you shower with was salty. We don't
Right.
have that in the South. But I don't think that would be it. I don't know why that would be an issue, but I don't actually know the answer though. I don't actually know the answer.
What was the question? Sorry.
That they have a booking for a combo that is well water. It's a well water, and that it's also salt water. Oh, and they're in Corpus Christi. They're in Corpus Christi. So that's, I mean, that's far from me, but not that far. But Corpus is like right on the fucking Gulf. So well water, what the well water must be salty because you're that close to the ocean. Maybe, I don't know. If it's me, I would tell you full send, go set it up. Throw caution to the wind. I think you'll be fine. If you're not fine, like that's kind of the price you pay to. That's just, you know.
I know well water has rust in it. So I wonder if that's what they're worried about, the rust stains.
Yeah, could happen. But again, I'm full send, and if it like ruins your
yeah,
unit,
they can buy something called white ox. That's what I use because I live out in Loxahatchee and we're full of well water. Like every single house here has well water. So if you hook it up right up to the well, I mean, you're gonna get that rust, and it's that yellow murky water. It looks gross. We just clean it. I don't clean it all the time because the people out here are accustomed to that water, so they know it looks really dirty. So, but they know it's rust, like it's rust water. You're about to, if I clean it, you're gonna mess it up again also. But I'll clean it probably every 2 or 3 uses, depending how bad it is. And yeah, there's a thing called white ox. I order it on Amazon or you go to Ace Hardware, they have it. It's like, it's really cheap. You mix it with some water, you spray it, and it just goes away. Super easy. No scrubbing, no nothing.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, but yeah, in general, well water, don't worry about it. Like it's gonna cause you some issues eventually, but no worries. I think that's all the questions. I think that's it. I think we're out of questions. I started my shit at freaking 6:30 tonight, so I've been going. I've been going for it. I was busy. I was training a new guy today. I was training a new guy how to clean combos today, prior to the show today. Oh yeah, we ended. I think I ended Facebook. I think. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. I feel like we've reached the end of the show. Unless anybody else has anything else they want to jump in with, I'm all for continuing.
I did have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Sort of question / statement. So I work for like a big telecommunications company. I have a pretty decent 401k account, not a couple years worth, and I'm considering pulling out some money to buy in more inflatables, and also considering leaving that job, where I make decent, almost 6 figures. But and the inflatable business, it's almost at that point. So kind of like listening to what you've been saying, Nick, kind of made me think about how miserable I am there, and to see what a good option for taking money out, investing it, and just making that full jump.
Gotcha. So as far as taking money out of the 401k, I do not know the current rules on that. I know back in the day you had to pay it back and there was interest and all sorts of crazy stuff. Kevin, do you know the 401k stuff?
I wouldn't do it because right now, especially now with everything being so low, that you're losing even more money than you would, because everything's gonna go up again. But if you like borrow against, say you borrowed against it, when you go to pay it back, everything's risen by then, that now it's going to be even more expensive for you to buy your shares back. Not to mention you have those fees, like if you were to just take it out completely. I never recommend pulling money out of the 401k, in my opinion. I think the only time I would ever say like maybe like borrow against it is if it's like really high and there's a likelihood it's going to kind of come back down, then sure. but at the low, I personally wouldn't.
Yeah,
That's just my.
Yeah, meaning the stock market has dropped, so your 401k has dropped. So borrowing against it now, in my opinion, I don't think the stock market's going to go much lower. Again, that's right. It's always guessing, but the one time that I've heard of the 401k thingy, one of my best friends borrowed against his 401k, I believe, to remodel his house and buy his wife a truck, if I remember right. And then the penalty was an interest rate, but the interest rate is against yourself, right? The interest rate doesn't go to a bank or something. It's just more of your money has to come out of your check to pay your own 401k back. It was very complicated. It was very strange. That is also pre-COVID. So the 401k money, before you want to do anything drastic with it, I would speak to either hire an accountant / CPA that knows about that stuff, and then speak to them, or if you have one, go talk to them about it to see if that's a wise decision. The other thing too about I had somebody ask me today on Facebook Messenger about no, it was a Facebook comment, and I said message me, and we'll hopefully we'll make a video about kind of some creative ways to raise funds. But you can just have your freaking grandma buy slides and put them in your inventory, and then she makes 20% of the rental for the rest of her life. Is it a good idea? I don't know. I just did it in my own business with 2 different people, so I'll let you know in a year. But basically, I wanted to expand for a lot of reasons, but I've got a big competitor that I've moved in to my area, and so I wanted to grow my inventory quickly. So I had 2 of my employees bought their own slides and put them into my inventory, and they make 20% of the rentals of those units forever and ever and ever and ever and ever until those units.
I've thought about doing that. Actually, there's this one guy. He's my mentor in Florida. He's one of the big dogs. He's his name's Tim with Premier Bounce and Slide.
Oh, that's my dog Tim.
Tim is my boy. He's my mentor.
Cool,
I listen
man.
to
So funny.
everything he says. He
What
tells
part of
me.
Florida are you at?
I'm not in Florida. I'm in Texas, buddy.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were saying you're in Florida.
Hell no, I'm not. Florida people are dumb.
Bill, your mentor's there.
I know, but he's a smart guy. He was one of the first guys who ever I reached out to for help, and he was the only one out of all my local people. He was the only one who actually gave me advice, and he still gives me advice, and he still tells me, "Don't buy that unit. Don't buy he's like go easy. Don't buy those junk orange units. Don't." He tells me so many things to do, and I'm stubborn. I still do stupid stuff, and he'll tell me, and I end up like yard cards. Like I got into yard cards, and I just sold them all today. And he told me, he's like, "Why the hell are you buying that shit?" And I sold him to. I remember the first thing he told me, man. That was about like 2 years. That was when I started everything. Same thing, electric dollies. He tells me, dude, don't get any electric dollies. Those pieces of shit break all the time. I'm like, I'm gonna get one. I don't care what you say. I'm gonna get one. But I already forgot what I was talking about.
He tells you don't get the electric dolly because he's not pushing anything.
No, shoot, that dude. God damn, like that. He's the big dog. He's the big dog. Like that dude's doing. He don't even give a shit about inflatables. That guy's doing like fucking carnival rides and shit now.
Yeah.
He's just big, but and that's what he had. I don't. Freddie, have you ever met Taylor and Maddie? I talked to them a lot.
Yeah.
Taylor and Maddie. Dude, Taylor Ray is fucking cool. Well, basically, those are basically his like right hand people, and they own inflatables to part of the inventory as well, and they get 20% off of basically kind of like what Nick says. And I mean, I'm not at that point yet, but you know, to not to keep like my right hand guy, I'd do that for them. You know what I mean? I would let them invest into the company, and I would let them keep 20% of the thing.
Yeah, that's basically what I did was I bought out a company of a whole bunch of units, and then one of my guys bought I think 4 of those units, and then one of my other guys bought 3 of those units, and then one other obstacle course. I'll just say this: I'm about to pay them out for March, and we had a very good March, but it's a lot. 20% of those shits is a lot more money than you think. Okay.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah. So just fair warning that the 20% way more than you think it is. But it helped me because I didn't really need the influx of cash until I got the new warehouse, and then had to buy new pallet racks, had to buy like literally everything. You know what I mean? Like just a lot of stuff. And to where I was like, okay, shit, this makes total sense. So I kind of took it on the front. I took the cash influx on the front end to help finance a lot of the stuff that's going into the warehouse, to where they're going to make money on the back end forever, right? I'm going to be paying them a good chunk of money because they bought good units on the back end.
But that keeps them motivated though,
That's
right?
the thing.
And
So
that helps you get, some weight off of your back, and like you can be happy and go, hey, I feel like going to the zoo with my kid. Hey, this guy, hey, can you? And they're gonna be like, hell yeah, whatever you need, buzz. Like that's kind of like the way I have like my college kid. Like I was like, hey, like, because I can clean all my units. I don't have a lot of units. I have like probably like 10. Like seriously, I don't have a lot. And I tell my college guy, like, hey, you want to make some extra money? Go clean. Even though I can do it all by myself, I just tell him, and he's like, oh yeah. I mean, he wants to work. But yeah, having them own some stuff. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't do that until I'm way more established like you. But yeah, dude.
yeah, tread lightly in that department, but that's what I told my wife. Like, so Trevor was the first one that hit me up. Like he hit me up for it, right? Like, hey, what if I put in and buy some of those units that company you're buying out, and then those are mine, and I do the 20% thing, because my old landlord wanted to do it. That's what kind of where it started. And then that fell apart, and I was totally fine with that falling apart. Like I was like, I don't need the money, dude, like whatever. And then Trevor hit me up. I'm like, well, we're moving in the new warehouse, and like, right. And then now Trevor's literally invested in the jump off. And then Isaiah, one of my other guys, came to me and said, hey, I heard the thing with Trevor, like, what's up? And so then we kind of, cut a similar deal. And and now they're literally part owners of the jump off. You know what I mean? But of course, tread lightly on that. You need to make sure that you have the right person, right? And now
Exactly.
somebody like that's why I've literally never given anybody the advice of have your employees buy shit for your own inventory, right? Because that's scary. That's how, and you need to make sure you have,
But I feel like it also, like, what is it to, like, hey, an employee be like, you know what, I already know the ins and outs of how Nick does things. Why don't I just go start my own thing? And my college guy, his dad works for me too, and because he liked the money that the college kid was making, and the dad was like, dude, my wife spends all my money, like I want some side money. And he's like, me and my friend were thinking about doing it, but I didn't even want to mess with all that back end stuff. So I rather just work for you and just get that. He's like, yeah, because there's a lot to it. But it's like bringing, I mean, obviously those two guys ain't going to leave you because they like you and stuff like that. Same thing with my college guy and his dad. They like me. They won't do that. But say bringing in like anybody, like, oh, I know the ins and outs, now I'm just gonna go start my own business. Like if you can, I mean, obviously when you get to that point of inventory, you can give an opportunity to it. And obviously there has to be some guidelines, like you have to be with the company with this, and this. You need to know how to do this, and this. You can't just like, hey, anybody can just buy a damn pound. Because I had a lady who one of a good friend of mine, she was like, oh, I'll buy a margarita machine for you, but I get royalty of like 10%. And I thought about it, But then I'm like, you're not doing anything. You're just like, you want to be a blind partner? Like, I'm not doing that. Like, you got to be a part of, you got to get down and dirty with us too. But
100%.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the way I feel about it is if you need the influx of cash, it's an awesome creative way to get an investment of cash, right? Like, I mean, I got like almost $20,000. Like, boom, 2 checks written, done, deal. I got an influx of cash, right, to help finance the building out of the new warehouse. That's badass. If you don't need the money, don't fucking do that. You know what I mean? Unless you're super aggressive and want the market share and have a situation where it makes sense, which when I talked to my old landlord, like, right, I moved to a new warehouse now, so Wes isn't my landlord. But when Wes approached me about wanting to invest in the jump off because he saw what we were doing and believed in us, he hit me at the right time where I was like, the answer's always been no, but now the door's open because there's a new competitor that's moved in, and I've got to make sure that I can compete. You know what I mean?
Who's the competitor?
I don't know that I want to go into it right now.
You're like,
There's no competition to the jump off. What do you mean?
Just a large inventory. That's all I mean. Like a large inventory that didn't used to be here. And then the other part is but then let me address the other part that Al said, where you said like they could essentially take my methods, right, and start their own business. I disagree vehemently with that, where it's like, if that were the case, they would have already done it. And what I mean by that is the idea and the procedure mean literally like 1%. It's all comes down to the hard work, the determination, and if you really want to scale, the leadership. And if they don't have those things, if they don't have the ability to do those things, it doesn't matter. So like, ideas don't matter, procedures don't matter, secrets don't matter. I mean, I literally make YouTube videos where I tell everybody exactly how I do everything. And when I first started doing it, my friends were like, "You're fucking crazy. Everybody's gonna copy you and take you down." I'm like, "Bro, what you don't realize is in my head, I already know nobody can take me down. Like, if anybody wants to get in the sea and swim, I'm the bigger shark. And then I'll tell them how I hunt, and I'm still confident enough that I'm the bigger shark. Like, I'm good. I'm very good. You buy slides, put them in my inventory. They could take those slides out of my inventory and go start their own rental business. They totally could. And I would crush them. I would utterly crush them because
how?
Because I'm a businessman that means business and does business.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean I would crush them like I hate them. I would help them. I would coach them. I would give them tips. I would help them. I would send
I'm
them.
lying, Nick. You're gonna go over and stab their stuff before you take it.
Because literally, there's this guy who I think he commented in your group, Nick. Literally, about the other side of town, has the same 2 combos I got, same 15-footer easy I got, and he's undercutting. And then he's like, he messaged me asking for advice, and I'm cool with all my competitors. There's no point in being evil to your competitors. It just makes no sense. Does you no good. But it's just like I'm cool with my competitors, but I'll never tell them my next move. I'll never tell them too much. I'll give them advice, like, yeah, you can. This is how you tart. This is the best way to roll. But I'm not gonna tell them my strategies. I'm not telling them my service lines. I don't even like them looking at my website because I've seen other competitors start looking at my website and kind of copying my things that I do on my site.
But you got to remember though, like, right, there's the number of websites that look like mine across the nation is pretty high. I get screenshots of them. You know what I mean? But then it doesn't matter though, because like, I've made my website, right, and I'm partial to my own website, but I've made my website like try to speak to the people that live near me, right? So then if a local competitor tries to do what I did, I'd probably see the websites. Like it doesn't convey the same message because they don't have the same intentions. Like my intention is to take over the entire world, right? Their intention is to have a cute little side hustle, or maybe it's their only job. I don't freaking know, but like my ambitions map to different activities than theirs does. So that's why I'm just like, I'm good. Like I'm good. Like the guy, the quintessential dad that goes, wow, you were just here for 20 minutes and I can't believe I paid you $380.
I love that.
I love it. And they're like, wow, this is so easy. I can't believe I just paid you $380 to do that. I'm like, I know, me neither. Me neither. But I keep charging you guys, and then you just the money keeps flowing in, right? And they laugh.
Where do I buy one of these at? Oh, Omega.
Yeah,
how about the one that goes?
Like, where do I buy one? No. I go, oh, this is HEC Worldwide, HEC-worldwide.com. This is the 22-foot purple Hurricane. You can get it for $51.99. Shipping is that, right? I go out of my way. Like, no. They're like, yeah, this is a good business. Do you think it's a good business to get into? It would be.
I like that.
I will
like, no, I just got in there.
Yeah, I will smash you. If it weren't for me, it'd be great. But yeah. Otherwise, though, yeah, if you want to go open it in Baton Rouge, that'd be great, right? Then they laugh. Like, I love it, dude. Like, but it just looks so easy. I'm like, oh, it is. It is. Why do you think I do it? Like, I play into the whole thing because I think it's important. No, let me backtrack.
Nick,
because nobody's gonna do it.
Nick, see, you're lucky you're not in South Florida.
Exactly.
Because every person that you tell them, yeah, it's easy, they will
do it.
Up and they'll have 10 Mexicans out working you, bro. Straight up.
Yeah. Same thing with Texas, bro.
That stuff to me, I tell them.
I'm gonna open jump off Miami just to prove you wrong, Freddie.
I say the same.
Freddie talks about all the struggles about it.
Hell yeah. I tell them how I'm on WIC. I'm poor. I'm out of foreclosure.
No way.
Like, I gotta wear a back brace.
I beg for a tip.
Yeah, Omega Bounce. It was about $7 grand.
Insurance is 20 grand.
Insurance. You need a truck and trailer. You need a dolly. You need to wake up in the mornings. You need to wake up early Sunday morning.
In the knee.
Yep.
It's always the drunk ghetto dudes. Oh yeah, bro. I thought about doing this before too. I'm like, yeah, well, you wouldn't last, bro. You wouldn't last, bro, because you like to party on weekends.
No, bro. You need to get them into the market so you can buy it.
No. I do. Dude, I have like 5 people.
Honestly, Nick has a point there. Some new units.
Oh, this is I'm like, this is the easiest thing.
They're gonna do it because these TikTok guys make it act like it's a cool, easy trend. And then you got guys like Nick on YouTube. Yeah, this is easy. You can come and do it, start your own business. Like,
Get out of here. It's easy.
Nick has them buying the 22-foot dual lanes. He's like stopping for them.
I hate Nick's YouTube.
I got it all figured out. No, I got it all figured out. We get everybody in the market with 22-foot dual lanes. We flood the market with 20. Nobody can roll them.
Yes, they can.
And then we we got half price.
Everyone they can. They'll make it. They'll roll it like shit, but they can roll it.
But that's the thing. Nobody has the ambition to do it right. Nobody can compete. Nobody can hang.
But nobody cares to check if you have insurance or not. Nobody cares if you're inspected. Nobody cares a lot of times customers don't even care about the damn unit. I mean, of course, yeah, those ain't your customers, but trust me, like Freddie says, dude, Florida and Texas are saturated.
Bro,
like saturated.
Were invented here. They were invented here. They were invented.
No, they were not. Louisiana.
People have been renting them out since 1970 where I live.
You got like 25 competitors.
Nick has the 1,700 review guys.
I got like 80 dudes. And that's on Google. That's like Google. That's not even including the Facebook market people.
Well,
that's not even including the offer of.
But yet been able to scale fast enough to quit your job?
Oh yeah,
Not me. I'm so scared. Remember?
I'm
Freddie's not
right.
scared
guys that are
anymore.
popping up with the same combos I have. I'm like, God damn it.
Of course.
Freddie,
Go away, people.
think of your children.
There was a motherfucker today that posted in my Facebook group now selling bounce house straps.
Oh, I saw that. I
That
saw
rainbow
ones,
The
right?
rainbow
Those
one.
rainbow ones.
They're rainbows.
Guilty. I bought 2 pairs.
If you want to buy inferior product, I don't care.
I'm just kidding. I didn't buy that. I honestly,
saw that and I'm like, geez, in his own group too. Oh my.
Yo, I
That's a
honestly
boss.
laugh whenever I see you talk about the strolling straps.
Oh, I'm sending you a free pair. Change your fucking life.
Wait, Freddie, you don't have the rolling straps?
No, man, I'm freaking 360 pounds. You think
That
I'm worried
doesn't
about a
matter.
freaking water slide waterlogged? I'll push that thing.
That doesn't matter.
I mean, in a way, like Albert was the original creator of the rolling straps, and Nick kind of took that from him. But he branded it a little bit better, though. He branded it better.
I should
But
light, quick, easy.
I bought Albert's first, and Albert was first.
Nick, send me a pair, and I'll advertise them.
All right. Send me your DM me your address. They'll be in the mail tomorrow.
Oh,
I
I'm doing it
actually
right
got
now.
a pair.
Oh wait, is Nick drunk and sending straps? Hold up.
5 Bud Lights. 5 Bud Lights.
Yeah,
I got
But
2 straps.
Bud Light is water.
I have Albert straps, and I've used them only like 2 times when they were waterlogged. And that was about it.
Yeah, I mean, like when I'm out running routes, like I use the straps every single time on the 22-foot dual lane, on the 21-foot rampage, and our 18-foot dual lane. Every time, I am not wavering on that.
Do you winch it, or
18
you're
foot-
just like pulling it?
No, I hate winches. God, I hate.
I do the same, Nick. 18-foot and up dual lanes. I use the rolling straps. It's like I can handle it, but I also like my back and knees. So it's like,
yeah, it's just like
You guys are freaking weak.
No. It's
Clearly,
Bro,
this is
gonna
like,
catch up
You're
on
like
you. It's gonna
400.
catch up.
You gotta stop.
no, bro.
Clearly,
Like
this
I was
is
training
not-
the new guy, and we did like we had a route where we had some drops and some picks on Sunday. It was like combos, like whatever, nothing big. And then our last pickup was a 21-foot rampage, which is not like that big of a deal to roll. But we had 2 of us. I'm like, bro, if we have 2 of us on a 21-foot slide, we're just using rolling straps, because one guy pulls and one guy pushes, and you get done and you're like not even out of breath. Like you didn't even break a sweat. And my new guy's like, yeah, what? All my friends told me this is going to be hard. This is like the easiest job I've ever had. I'm like, yeah, it is. But bro, the rolling straps with 2 guys is just, it's like ultimate cheat code. Like it gets really, really, really intensely easy.
I agree. I like the rolling straps with the heavier units.
Yeah, I just said I'm gonna do rainbow straps. Fuck yeah, I'm coming out with rainbow straps. We're going in. We're gonna have rainbows. We're gonna have fucking unicorns.
Get me some purple straps.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to do colors. So okay, I got a funny fucking story. So I called like the local supplier that I like. They're out of Alabama, but they don't have a big selection, right? So they didn't have like all these colors. So then I called the really, really big supplier. They're called Strapworks. I fucking hate them. They're terrible to deal with. They're god awful. They're out of Oregon, but they got a huge selection. So if I need to do something goofy, I got to go through one of those two. The rest of the straps are now being made by Big and Bright Inflatables. Those won't be here till June, so everything now is made in house. But anyways, my idea was to do. They were gonna be badass too. We're gonna do holiday colored rolling straps. So we're gonna have green with orange buckles, and it was gonna look like an Irish flag. And then we're gonna have a fucking Valentine's one, whatever. So I order all the stuff, right? It was like $1,200. Well, when I sent the order and I emailed it into them, instead of the apostrophe for feet, I did the quotation marks for inches. I spent $1,100. It was like 11.50, 12 something on every, and they're this long. Like I can't make rolling stuff better. They're this long. They came and I was like, oh my God, like UPS dropped them off. And it was before we had the new warehouse. It was like at the house. Like I saw UPS wheel them up the thing and I was like talking to somebody and then I run out there and open them up. I'm like, what the fuck? I go check my thing and then it was my fault. And I was like, oh my God. I was like sick to my stomach. Like I wanted to punch hole. Like I've never.
So how much would it have cost? Because that
For
was
what?
based on 6 inches. How much would it have cost if it was actually feet or whatever?
I spent extra money because I have to pay them for every cut they make. So I can get them in big rolls of, the rolls are 100, 300 yards, I think. No. I think at 100 yards. Yeah, they're 100 yards, 300 feet.
So you have how many of what right now?
Oh, infinity, bro. I have infinity 30, like 39-foot straps, like this big 2-inch.
Okay, so check it out. Get those lashing strap buckles,
Mhm.
the little buckles you have, sew them on there and sell them as the strap to hold the blower on the blower tube.
They're too short for even for that.
Oh hell, then
Okay.
use them
Okay,
for a
what
freaking
about-
belt.
What about weightlifting? What do they call it? Where it's
maybe.
around your arm for like doing deadlifts to hold the bar. What do they call those?
That could maybe work, but they're
Can't
too.
you like stitch one piece? Like
Yeah, they're
you just
2 inch.
stitched it.
So they're fat, and they're like, bro, and they're like each
Uh-huh.
colors, like pastel pink, and like it's
I
like,
got pink ones of those.
oh my
fine.
God, dude. It's like the biggest fuck up I think I've ever made
What-
as a business owner.
Women like using it because like, they might not. I got it for my fiance actually, so she could hold the
Deadlift,
bar.
yeah, the deadlift. I do have a power lifter that works for me, so we could probably get it going. And he does like a low key.
Can I get 5% for the idea?
Oh my God. I'll send you I'll send you all 4 cases. It's 4 cases.
Yeah, they're called lifting straps. I just looked it up.
They're like big. They're like, 30-pound cases of straps this long that are pink and purple and Ireland green and orange. Oh my God, dude.
Although what I have is 21 inches. How many inches was yours that you have?
30. They're 37.
Oh, there you go.
That ain't too small to wrap around the blower.
But they're 2 inches wide though. They're not the 1-inch little straps. They're 2 inches fat.
Yeah, I don't think that's
like-
good for the blower.
And one cam buckle of 2 inches like $9 or something. It's like,
Oh yeah.
it's like brutal. Like
The guy in Premiere, Gustavo, he sells them. I think it's like $10 each.
mhm.
It's that alligator clamp looking thing.
Dr. Stitch.
Yeah, Dr. Stitch. Yeah, Gustavo. He's great.
Beast. Love that guy.
Yeah.
There's alligator clamps when you tighten the strap, it like that edge is really sharp on the alligator clamp and it wears out the polypropylene super fast.
I don't my daughter and my nephew lose them too often, so
Yeah, that's why I use the freaking cam buckles, because it's got that smooth edge and you never wear out the polypropylene, so your strap never breaks. Oh yeah, Kevin, I could sew that.
I just don't know how much money you want to make on each. This is $10.
Oh, bro, I'll break even. I'm happy breaking even. But those
Just
have
gotta
like
put some foam insert.
they
Yeah,
have
there's like some padding.
I'll have to see if Tyler wants to go in on this, because that's not my forte. Yeah, that's my most epic fail, I think, of all of entire entrepreneur life, where it's just like how stupid, right? Like the key is the same key on the keyboard. Like I just didn't hit the shift. I just didn't hit shift.
You can still make lemonade out of that lemon, Nick.
That's why I haven't thrown them away. I took them up to the warehouse. They're just up on the top shelf at the warehouse. The guys are like, "What's in those boxes?" I'm like, "Don't ask. Don't ask."
My misery.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about wasted. Oh my
My
god.
jar of tears.
The reason why Freddie hasn't quit his job.
Freddie, you should have quit your job a long time ago. Oh, I meant to say, I don't know who had asked that 401k question. I had a quick comment on that. That if you have questions like that, you should really be speaking to a financial advisor. Even what I'm saying is really just an opinion. And even a CPA and a bookkeeper, they should not be giving you advice as well. Legally, they're not allowed to. It really should be a financial advisor that would give you that advice.
Yeah, that's a good call. My financial advisor is legit. We're late in the show, so nobody's watching. But my financial advisor is able to take on clients from all around the country. So if you need one, let me know. He's awesome. His name's Jared. All right, we got to end the show because I got to pee really bad and I'm kind of hungry. So we got to roll.
What you gonna eat?
I don't know, bro. I have no idea. I jumped on early. I started at 6:30 because I did the 30-minute cocktail hour with the freaking Jumpstart people. And so like I went and jumped in the shower at 6, like, and then rolled in here and started. So I don't even know what was made, bro. I don't even know what food was made. Bet it was leftovers, but
We should do a dinner in Biz.
bro, that would be fun.
Are
That would be fun. I
you going to IAPA this year?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll be there. I'm not doing a booth. But I'm sure I'll be at other people's. I've had a couple people tell me that I can bring straps and sell straps and shit. So hopefully I'll be fucking loaded to the gills and we can do some cool
I
stuff.
say we find out who has the better hotel and do a Biz and Booze in live.
That would be good times, bro. That would be good times. We're gonna do. I think my mother-in-law is supposed to be coming so she can like hang with the kids, and then Michelle can hang with the kids and come to the show a little bit. So
Oh, that's perfect. Babysitting.
So we're gonna try and do that one that's like something key, siesta. That's nap. I don't remember, but it's like a little condo thing over there. But
Let me know how much she's gonna charge for babysitting so I can drop my kids off.
Real
All
talk.
15.
Real talk. She's about to retire, so she's probably gonna be free. But
Funny part is I came with my 10-year-old. She ended up just hanging out with like Jana and Tariq's kids the whole time.
really,
Pretty much. Well, not the whole time. Those times we were bonding, but at times she's like, I just want to go with them. I'm like, all right, bye.
bye.
I got business stuff to deal with.
I typically bring my 14-year-old daughter and my 16-year-old nephew. Which back to the topic. Sorry, I know you want to leave, but just a quick. When you guys are saying
He's
you
about
guys
to pee himself.
Yeah, when you guys say you let people invest, I let my nephew and my daughter put in money for my biggest slide that I have.
Oh,
and
cool.
we pretty much split it in 3.
Yeah, that's cool. It's fun, dude. Like I gotta write them their first check this week. So I guess tomorrow. But which is gonna be kind of weird. But it's like it's gonna be cool.
How much is it? How much is it?
Isaiah did his rough math. I pulled up IO and he did some rough math, and I think it was $400 for March for his unit.
That's a nice little check.
That's not bad. How many times did it go out?
He bought an obstacle course that did very well, a combo that hasn't done super well, and then 2 water slides. And we're sending water slides, but very scarcely so far. And so he only had one of his water slides go one time, but his obstacle course was gangbusters. And then my other guys is gonna be shit. His is probably gonna be close to double that. Maybe not double, maybe 600, but it'll be more. It'll definitely be more. So it's gonna be cool to pay them out and have them be super stoked to be, you know what I mean, bought in. It's gonna be fun. All right.
Go
You guys have
pee.
a wonderful evening. I'm going to urinate. All right. See you guys next week. Peace.
All right, guys.
Thanks, everyone.